mods permanently banned. I'm really fucking mad. I'm really mad today. I was like trying to chill out and I was like, I'm not gonna come on stream angry. I'm gonna relax. And then I decided to take my stimulants and drink coffee on an empty stomach. I gave myself a bunch of anxiety and I didn't eat enough. And then I started thinking about this more. And then someone talked to me about it before I went on stream. And I'm just fucking mad. I'm really fucking mad. And I want to pretend that I'm not, but I'm really fucking mad. Okay. Oh, here's some good news. If you were here the other day when I got gifted the 200 subs, and remember how I was like freaking out because I didn't know if that was real or not? That was real. And the person who sent them to me confirmed that they were real. And I know it's not just someone fucking with me because I know this person in real life. So that's cool. That's some good news. That's well the only good news we have right now. All right. I'm not as mad because I think Dems actually won the shutdown for 2 reasons. Okay. I almost want you to get in voice chat and come talk. Not because I want to fight you. I don't want to fight you. But I just don't want to wait for you to type it out. And I kind of want to have like an actual discussion about this. Does anybody want to actually talk about this? Do you want to come on? You can. Are you in the Discord? No, I'll have to give you the link. Okay, are you in it already? If you're in it already, go ahead and get in. No, we don't have that set up, guys. If you're in the Discord already, you can send me a message and I'm gonna send you a link. Oh, are they fighting? Oh, yeah. Okay. Alright. Okay, I'm putting the link in chat. Yeah, there's a Discord. We were very, 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 like, tight-lipped about it and very careful about it because when it was made, it was so unsafe for me to be online, and so many people, like, would lie about me constantly. And, like, somebody put me in a Discord with a bunch of content creators who were, like, all across the political spectrum. And they put Lauren Southern in there, and I was in there for like a year. I never interacted with anyone once. I never commented. I never was active in the Discord at all. And people use that to say that I was like in league with Nazis or something. Like, there was a time period where for me to breathe wrong online, people would like completely lie about it and use it to hurt me and like make fake screenshots and like do all kinds of crazy shit. So we were like really, really, really tight-lipped about the Discord because we didn't want people getting in there and just like being evil and causing chaos. Was this hippy dippy? Yeah, it had something to do. It was like some sort of like okay, cool. I'm gonna send you a message. I'm adding you as a friend and sending you a message. Yeah, so it was like somebody who hosted conversations on Twitch, and they just threw me in there, and I didn't even know. Okay, cool. I'm sending you a message right now. I still don't. It's so crazy. I really don't even fully understand how Discord works in a lot of ways. But I'm sending you. I think that that'll put you in the chat. Let's see. I think this is set up in a way that I think this channel is set up in a way where they'll be able to hear you. You're trying? Is it not letting you get in the call in the chat? Let's see if we can't put you in here. Oh yeah, no. It's not a Merrick stream until multiple things have gone wrong. I don't know. I'm professional streamer. I don't know how to do anything. This should not be surprising to anybody. This, yeah, cinema for sure. Okay, I've sent you 2 different invites now. Okay. Oh, thank you, Ternix, for gifting the sub earlier. Appreciate that. Whoa! Thank you, Mobius, for the 10 gifted. That's super sick. I really appreciate that. Don't worry, streaming is audio issues. Literally, this would not be a Merrick stream if things went correctly. It's okay. Yeah, it's... I read it as Morbius, too. I also thought it was Morbin time. What are we doing? What are we doing? Are you beating up your sister? Huh? Are you beating up your sister? You stinky little jerk. Gibby. Okay, well, until we can get him in here, you guys are gonna watch this for a minute. You wanna see her get some air? Check this out. Come on, come on, come on. You can do it. I know you can do it. I've seen you do crazy jumps. I've seen you do crazy jumps. Come on. What are you gonna do? Huh? Mm-hmm. Ooh. Okay, well, you gotta let go of him now. No, you gotta let go of him. You gotta let go. Come on. Come on. Come on. I gotta get her moving a little bit before we start doing jumps. I think she's not. We gotta get warmed up. There we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. We're thinking about it. We're thinking about jumping. There we go. The people want to see your vertical. They want to see how impressive it is. Come on. You're so close. You're so close. Oh, there we go. right there. It could be yours. We just gotta put in a little bit of work, huh? Come on. We're thinking about it. Yeah. We're normally much more excited to be jumping. Are we tired today? Okay. Alright, I don't know that you're going to be able to get in the chat. So, we're going to move on. Hi, mermaid. It says you don't have permission. Does anybody who knows how Discord, can anybody, one of my mods, can anybody fucking help me with this? Edit channel, let's see. My fucking permissions, channel, permissions, everybody. Let's try this again. Okay, I'm gonna send you another invite, okay? We'll see what happens. Thank you so much. Yes, Kibby. No, it's mermaid. Okay, sorry. Alright. So, okay. Let's actually just talk about what's going on first while we're waiting for this shit to get sorted out. So, the situation is, as of last night... Ooh. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I can hear you. Can you guys hear him? Can everybody hear him? Too loud? Okay, I'm going to turn you down a little bit, all right?
Do what you need to do.
Okay, how's that?
That's good.
Is that
Nothing
better,
but audio
guys?
problems on my end. I love it.
Okay, cool. All right, hey, buddy. So, give us your name, and
You can call me. You can call me Rundo.
Okay. All right. Let me get you your information up on a stream. We've got Rundo. All right. So, turn him down like 30%. He is at like 30% right now. How is that? Okay. So here's the situation. Before I let you say, I forgot I was a Discord mod for a minute. Yeah, I forgot that I was a streamer for like a year and a half. Okay, anyway, so the situation that's going on right now, what we're talking about right now is last night there was a vote held, Senate Dems, to see if they actually wanted to return to passing the continuing resolution. Hi, Jordan. And they needed 8 votes. They needed votes from 8 Democrats to vote yes. Otherwise, it was going to, we were going to remain sort of at a stalemate where we were not willing to pass it and the government was shut down. The continuing resolution, it deals with like funding, and we need that funding to pass so that the government functions and stays open, which is why we had the shutdown. So last night, they decided, 8 Dems, basically decided to work with Republicans to end this government shutdown. We did have 8 Dems vote for it. The situation is that Chuck Schumer has been sort of negotiating this behind the scenes for like over a week now. He went on to vote no publicly, but he also made the statement publicly that other Dems could vote as they please. Now, Chuck Schumer is in charge of the Dems. He is essentially, he's Dem leadership, right? So Chuck Schumer went out there and said, oh, I'm not going to vote for it, but all these other Dems are going to do my dirty work. So the Dems that did vote for it are ones who are not up for re-election until 2028, 2030, or are not going to run again or retiring. So basically, we've had the rotating villain scheme at play, and there were no concessions from Republicans whatsoever in regards to continuing the ACA subsidies, which is the Affordable Care Act, which is, the subsidizing it is what keeps the costs for you and I down. So now people are looking at their premiums doubling, in some cases tripling. I've seen some that are like that are increasing by way more than triple, but so a lot of people are going to lose their health insurance because they're not going to be able to afford their premiums, and then a lot of other people are getting bent over the barrel and they're going to have to pay an exorbitant amount for their premiums. Now, what did we get in exchange for that? What we got in exchange for that was funding for SNAP benefits for about a year, and then a lot of the people who were fired, a lot of the federal workers who were fired during the shutdown, they got to bring them back. And people are definitely going to get the government workers who were not paid, who their pay was furloughed, they're going to get that pay. Now, you're saying, well, what do you mean they're going to get that pay? That's always how it works. Whenever the government shuts down, they don't get paid, they get back pay afterwards. Trump was threatening to not do that, and Trump fired a bunch of people. So those people are getting their jobs back, and people are going to get the back pay that they deserved. Now, in addition to that, Republicans promised to come to the table in a month and do a vote on extending these ACA subsidies. They're going to expire next year. This funding the funding for the government only lasts into January. So this is not like a funding package for a year. This is a funding package for essentially, what is it, a month, 2 months at this point, right? So that is the current situation, and I think a lot of people, the base is furious. I am going to take the position in this conversation that this is a disaster and a failure and a total loss. Our friend Hondo here has a different perspective on that, and he is going to talk to us about why that is. This is a nice chat. This is a friendly chat. I don't want to see any of you saying anything fucking crazy on stream or in the chat. This is one of our community members. This is a regular community member, and this is a nice conversation. If you say anything crazy, I will ban you. All right? Hey, buddy. How's it going?
I'm doing good, and that sounds accurate to me, what you just said. So, yeah, I don't disagree with anything you just said there. The situation is exactly that. Um, Now, I understand why a lot of people, and I was initially one of those people who was like, okay, why would they cave when they're winning on the shutdown, frankly? Um, I've also heard some perspectives since then that are essentially that they were, it was a miracle that they kept these guys, kept the government shut down as long as they did. Which you probably don't disagree with either. We just both wish that they would all have, some spines.
Yeah.
But here's why I think it's a win for us on two broad fronts. The first thing is that the GOP, the Democrats made this about healthcare,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay. So what's going to happen is a lot of people, like you said, are going to get, they're going to see their premiums go to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A lot of those people are going to be GOP voters.
Yeah.
They're going to touch the stove. It's happening. We made it so that was what this was about. They can lie and say, oh, it was about immigrants and whatever. Like, okay, the GOP voters are going to be hurt very badly from this, and I don't think that the Democrats can do anything but benefit when they do that, especially when they say, hey, these guys, this is what they flat out said they were going to do, and they just did it, and they're screwing you personally over. That is a win for us. Now, it's bad that a lot of people get kicked off. I understand that. This is almost like an accelerationist kind of argument, but that is kind of what I think might need to happen for some of these people to flip over come 2026.
So I actually don't have any problems with you making kind of an accelerationist argument, because I actually think that my argument is, I think that no matter which way you look at this, it's an accelerationist argument, right? Because my argument is, and this is going to be very bad, and I'm sure that this might get clipped, and it's not going to be a good, nice thing that I'm about to say, but if Democrats continued with the shutdown, people were not going to be fed, right? People were not going to be getting their SNAP benefits, because, you know, we had a judge in Rhode Island, and you know, I know that you know this, but I'm going to say this for the benefit of anyone who wasn't here last stream when we talked about this, when, you know, we laid it out. So there was a federal judge in Rhode Island, and then also another federal judge in Boston, that both ordered that the Trump administration not paying out the SNAP benefits was illegal, right? We know that there was money for it. So, you know, when we sit here and we say, like, you know, I don't really have a problem with you making the accelerationist argument, right? Because I think that my argument is, like, people were going to go hungry, because the Trump administration was not going to pay out those benefits, right? So if they had stuck with it,
yeah,
the point of them sticking with it, right, is that people are going to continue to not have food, and that is going to be way more radicalizing than anything else. And that is an extremely cynical thing to have to say, and that is a really fucked up thing to have to say. But unfortunately, the leverage that this is kind of weird and kind of fucked up, but the leverage that both parties had was people starving. In the sense that, like, what's that?
I said that's kind of true, but and I'm not trying to, like, jump on your toes here, but, like, it's like the Dems were playing chicken with a kamikaze pilot. Like, it doesn't really work if the other person wants to crash,
Sure,
and doesn't care.
and I have seen this a lot, but I think the thing is that, like, that's not really what I was counting on.
Yeah,
I was counting on Republicans allowing it to continue. So
yeah.
the thing is, okay. There is no way to win with a group of people that will burn everything to the ground. There is no way to win the can we get them to change our minds and give us our concessions with a group of people that want to burn everything to the ground. The way it was going to play out was, we were going to get through the holidays. Republicans were not going to release those benefits. They were going to fight. They were going to fight at every level. So they already fought 2 federal judges, right? And then we know from last stream we talked about this, it went to the First Circuit Court of Appeals. They didn't make the decision, which is why it went to Ketanji Brown Jackson, who put the 48-hour hold. Now, this was Friday, I think, when we talked about this. Last night, as the Democrats were voting to reopen the government, that First Circuit Court of Appeals, made their decision and said that the Trump administration was violating the law and that they did need to release the remainder of those SNAP payments, right? So they were probably going to defy that too, and then it was going to go to the Supreme Court. Okay, so the game we were playing was I know, I'm sorry. So the game we were playing was they were going to continue to let people starve, and the messaging we had was they are continuing to let people starve, right? So the messaging was Republicans are defying these court orders. We are fighting to make sure that not only are you gonna get, you know, we're fighting for you to have your food, we're also fighting, thank you for the subscription, I appreciate that. We're also fighting so that you are not going to have millions and millions and millions of people lose your health care. Now, were they always going to lose? Yes, but it wasn't about, and this is really fucked up and really cynical, it wasn't about if they were going to get those concessions or not. It was about who was to blame. And that's a really fucking evil way to look at it, but we're in a situation where there are no good guys and there is no winning. There are no good outcomes. This being like the best outcome is incredibly weak. So they had control of the messaging. Now the messaging becomes, so like when we looked at polling, people were blaming the Republicans for the shutdown. And in this country, people don't vote on policy, they vote on vibes and they vote on feelings. There are still people who thought that, like, there's still people who talk about Trump giving them $2,000, not realizing that, you know, most of that money came from Biden, but because Trump signed his name on the checks, they think it all came from him, right? So there are still,
you're dead right.
Well, so my argument is that they were in control of the messaging. What we need people to do is vote Republicans out on a municipal level, on a state level. We need to get their fucking senators out. We need to get them out of the House. Like, we need to destroy the Republican Party from the inside out. We need to make people hate them so goddamn much that they will do anything to get them out of office. And the thing was, it was Republicans who were letting people starve. And it was Republicans who were doing that so that they didn't have to subsidize people's health care. Now the situation is Democrats held everything up and made it so that people didn't get paid and made it so that people didn't eat for 40 days for no reason. Now when you go online and you look at the messaging is, Dems did this for nothing. Dems only did this. They ended the shutdown right after we had those Tuesday elections. They got what they wanted. They tricked you. They bamboozled you. They were never actually fighting for you. They didn't get anything that they wanted and they folded. I am seeing this messaging everywhere and it is incredibly popular right now. So now, instead of we were getting people to realize that the Republicans are fucking them, it's Dems did this to us for no fucking reason and they were throwing a little hissy fit and they didn't even get what they wanted, right? So this was about messaging. This was never about the outcome. It was always about messaging.
I would agree with you that they are not taking advantage of the messaging that I would like to see them putting out. They should be putting out there that it should be laser focused on healthcare. Like, we tried to help you guys. We tried to get keep your healthcare costs down, and they fucked us. Like, the Republicans are fucking you over. That should be the message constantly. And they are failing on that. Now, here's the other. I said I had 2 points for why. And for why this could be an advantage to us. The number one, I think we both agree on, like, GOP voters are going to get hurt by this. They're going to touch the stove, and it's probably going to give them a lot of bad vibes, I would hope, about the GOP that are doing this to them. Number two is more of it actually goes into what you're talking about. So right now, you're very angry at the Democrats, right? Democratic leadership. Exactly. They're going to get hurt by this. And that is a win for those of us who want the old guard power.
Yeah.
So, ding, ding, ding. That's what I'm looking at this as, a little bit. Now, I realize that none of those specific individuals are up for re-election next year, and none of them, but two of them are getting, well, this isn't actually one of the guys who voted for it, but like my state senator, not Slotkin, the other one, whatever. I'm in Michigan. Yeah. Basically, he's retiring, and there's like a 3 or 4 way like bloodbath going on the Democratic side, trying to get in there. And I think that this kind of a bad taste in the mouth of the Democratic base on when it comes to like the old guard and corporate Dems, whatever you want to call them, it's going to make people want to try something new and maybe go for like a more populist message. Like, I don't know, I can't be sure, but I mean, yeah, like if the vibes are right, I think we can get a guy in there who's like we have someone who's basically, he's not like Mamdani Light or anything like that. I guess he is. I don't know. Who's running for office here? some guy from a doctor from Ann Arbor. Um, that's this kind of thing might be the
Yeah.
key that'll help get him in. Um, so I don't know, maybe.
Hold on. I have a situation.
No worries. Oh no. Perfect.
Sorry, baby. Not right now. Yeah, I think that this is sort of like a. I mean, I agree with this argument, right? But are you kidding me? No.
I understand why you're angry. I do. I'm trying to. I don't know. I guess. Oh, boom.
It's chaos.
I'm trying to like see the bright side of this. Like I don't think the Republicans come out of this smelling good. Plus, they have to bring in what's her name, the rep, who they've been refusing to
Oh,
bring in.
yeah. What
I
is
know
her-
they still
she's
can
gonna
do
be
it
the
today.
she's gonna be the last vote in the Epstein files. Let's see.
Yes.
Rep to Mike Johnson won't swear in. What is this woman's name? Adelita. Ooh, I'm not gonna be able to say this last name. I don't want to fuck it up. Adelita Grijalva. I G R
Yeah,
G
sounds right.
R I J A L V A. Grijalva, maybe.
Grijalva sounds
Yeah,
right.
Grijalva. So she's out of Arizona. And yes, the J is an H. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So yeah, I mean, oh my god, guys. Stop! Come on, what are we doing? Come on.
I've got my own running around here.
These are. What? No, stop. 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 Come on. Do not. Claw that. Okay, we never play in here. We have so much stuff out here. We have so many toys. Stop. You have so much food. I love you guys. I need you to stop doing this. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Okay.
We considered telling them to sit and stay.
Yeah. Bad cats. Fuck.
No, got my own little fur baby running around here too. So
Look, I think that there are potential positives, like in a roundabout way, from this. That said, I think that it was a complete and total failure on the part of establishment Dems. I still think that there could have been much better outcomes and a better way to go about this. I think there was the opportunity to really control messaging, and I think they really fumbled that. You're right in
yeah,
the sense that, like, now there's going to be a bunch of people. I mean, Ro Khanna is calling for Chuck Schumer to be primaried.
yes.
We love to see it, right? We love to see it. Now, I mean, we still have Hakeem Jeffries going on and, being asked, like, hey, do you still have faith in Schumer's ability to lead? And he's like, yeah, completely. So,
Well, he wouldn't be able to say anything else because if he said no, then he'd also be out on his ass.
Sure.
Like,
What I'm saying is that, like, I don't think that we're quite at the point where everyone wants Schumer's head on a pike, but I do think that, like, you're right in that I have not. When is the last time that you saw Globe Twitter, Rose Twitter, and people who are like, my ideology is Marxist, Leninist, Maoist, fucking, I want to kill unlimited genocide for the first world. Like, when have you seen all of these people coming together and agreeing on something? When?
I know what you mean. Yes, I do get where you're coming from here. What I do actually, and this is something I think more people should do, is when things like this come up, ask normies if they know anything about it, or if they know anything about it, what they feel about it, or whatever. So, like, most of the people, like, I just work a regular 9 to 5 in it's not really a factory, but we deal with stuff like that. So there's a bunch of very blue collar people running around.
Mm-hmm.
If I asked most of them, about this, they probably would not have been aware that the government was shut down in the first place.
Sure.
Um, and then they would have asked me if I'd seen the game. That's basically the level that we're playing with here. So I asked them if they know about it, and if they do, then I know that okay, something is breaking through somewhere to these guys.
Yeah.
And then I will ask, like, if I want to see what the boomer vibe is, I will ask my 70-year-old wine mom, who is, who finally went to a protest for the last No Kings, and discovered her entire church group was there, and apparently they were talking about watering the fields with the blood of tyrants, but whatever. Uh,
Yeah.
so I'll then ask. I'll then ask for their opinions on this stuff, and I haven't done that yet because it just happened. But, like, yeah, I try not to. I try to stay out of the online stuff, and I say this as someone who is terminally online. But I try not to confuse that with what actual people who are offline are also seeing. You know what I mean?
Sure, and I agree with that, but like we had polling, you know? We had
Yeah.
polling that said that people were blaming the Republicans for this. I guess my thing is that like I think that I worry. I worry in part that we're a little bit ambitious, that we sit here and we go, okay, well, a bunch of people are going to want to primary Chuck Schumer now, but like realistically, listen, Chuck Schumer, there's a chance that he's senile. There's a chance that, I think more likely he's in the pocket of big business and corporate interests, and that it's a big fucking club and you're not in it. He knows ball, unfortunately. And he knows that when these people who did vote for this are up for re-election in 2028, 2030, no one's gonna fucking remember this, right? And that does concern me, right? Like, I do think that so the Democratic Party, I do have to wonder if like we are very online and we are very concerned with politics, so like we are going to be hopeful now about primarying these Dems, but I don't know that your average person is. I don't know that your average person will remember this. I don't know if your average person sees this and feels anything other than like disappointed, let down. And people who are disappointed and people who feel like it's all pointless, they're much less likely to knock on doors. They're much less likely to cold call. They're much less likely to do any sort of campaigning. I don't know. I don't really know how much of a win for us this really truly is. And I am really concerned. I mean, maybe from an accelerationist point of view, this is better because maybe your average person will be fucking furious now. I don't know. I just don't really foresee this going in a... I don't really foresee this going in a much less likely to run for office in primary bad Dems, Scary Spike says. Yeah,
I mean, you might be right. I might have to eat crow on this. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But there are other things that they did slip in here that you mentioned at the beginning of all this that will help keep this healthcare brand of the Democrats want to give you healthcare, the Republicans want to take it away. That was slipped into this. So they did agree to hold a vote in December, right? Sure. I think you mentioned that at the beginning.
Yeah, they did agree.
Now they might just not do that. It's possible.
Well, I mean, they'll probably do it. Let's be real. They'll probably hold the vote, but they're all going to vote against it.
And that's possible too. So if they don't hold the vote, we need to have the Dems need to be on point on their messaging and hammer the shit out of them.
Sure, but what makes you think they will be when they have dropped? It just feels like... So that's the other thing is, like, how can we trust that Dems will be on brand with messaging when they're dropping the fucking ball right now?
That is a good point. Now, I mean, it's mostly the old guard that are dropping the ball right now. What I think actually is happening a little bit here is you've got, like, those 8 people going up there and saying, well, this is why I did what I did, and John Fetterman saying, well, I did it because I'm just evil. And like, okay, like we
Take a
know.
fucking oath.
Fetterman's yeah. Fetterman probably isn't going to win his next election, I don't think. People have a sour taste in their mouth in
He'll switch and
Pennsylvania
run as
from
a Republican.
I mean
They love him now.
some yeah, I know what you mean. Probably, or just a, I don't know. He'll, maybe we can get him another woke stroke,
Yeah.
and like,
Maybe we can hit him with the stroke gun. We can have the well, no, hold on, never mind. We can't call it the stroke gun. That sounds bad. We'll have to figure something else out. We'll hit him with the heart attack gun. How about that?
yeah, there we go.
There we go. We're never calling it the stroke gun ever again. My bad.
Oh, I just thought, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the CIA stroke gun.
Phrasing, right.
Phrasing.
Anyway, but yeah, like, I don't know. Like, that's kind of where I'm at on this, is I don't think the Republicans came out of this smelling squeaky clean. Not even a little. And, I don't get me wrong, a lot of this does hinge on Democrats actually getting messaging right, and you're right, a lot of them haven't been. But I guarantee you that while they did vote to open the government and everything, behind the scenes, some of what you're seeing from people like Ro Khanna is almost certainly like, this is our messaging for right now. We had to do this or whatever because all these people were going to do it anyway. But we're going to let you like rake these guys over the coals for a little bit. I do think that was like part of the strategy, is that they would do this and then immediately, put out messaging to their base that, we don't want to be like these old guard Democrats. So we're going to let you...
So you're saying that they were the sacrificial rotating villain scheme?
Kind of, yeah. I guarantee you that was discussed. Like,
well, that's why he chose people that either are running for re-election in 4 to 5 years, or who are retiring. Yeah, I think that was all very strategic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's a situation where there's no good guys. I hope that you are correct in your optimism of like, I hope you're correct in your optimism of this galvanizes voters and this galvanizes people to want to vote out the old guard. I just don't know that I am that optimistic about it.
No, and you know what? I don't blame you. Like, I get it. I'm trying to get some hope nuggets out of this,
Yeah.
And like, I know I'm not the only one with this take. And I have my disagreements with these guys, but the people over at the Bulwark are doing the same thing.
That pissed me off today. That pissed me off so bad.
Oh, what? The Bulwark guys?
The Bulwark guys who are like, fucking Tim Miller, who...
Yep.
Did you see what he said? What Tim Miller specifically said?
I believe I did, yeah.
Yeah, so one of the things that he said was, the people who are mad about this are a small subset of the electorate that treat politics like sports, and it's possible that their crying about the fold will contribute to snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. I want to hit him with my car.
Now. Temper. No, no, I know what you mean. That just goes back to like the messaging thing. We want the Democrats to have good messaging on this, and that is the one thing that could fuck them over, is if they don't get their messaging right. Because like you were saying at the beginning, it's all vibes and narrative, right?
All vibes.
You need to tell a story. You need to have the good vibes. Right now, people are hungering for, for Dems to stand up to probably almost everything Trump is doing. Don't get me wrong, there's, some stuff you could pick your battles on. There's stuff that Trump has done that I would look at as, I wouldn't say good, it would be like neutral. Like, I don't give a shit about the Gulf of America name change. That didn't actively harm anyone.
I mean, I
It
think
was
it's racist.
stupid. Well, yeah, I mean, it's stupid,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, it's just a thing that's going to get like put back by whoever the next president is.
Sure,
Fine.
like in terms of like actual quantifiable material harm, no. Do I think that
Yeah,
like you can make the argument for like in a sort of intangible way, it contributes to racist attitudes? Yeah, it's just vice signaling. I do think you can say that it's vice signaling for sure.
yeah, there's that. A lot of what this administration is doing is vice signaling,
Yeah.
and it's because like, and this is the other thing. This is the other thing that I think is going to help the Dems out is that while the Dems might suck at messaging and they may never get their shit together completely, the Republicans are like, at least when it comes to this administration. Oof, sorry.
Yeah.
At least when it comes to this administration, um, they're absolute morons. They do not know what they are doing,
No.
and
Sure.
that does help us a lot because it means they trip over their own feet all the time. Now, I mean, there's bad things about this too, because it also means that the things that should work um, and actually do need competence at the head of, like, say, the Department of Defense and stuff like that, like, they're, you know, Pete Hegseth doesn't know how to run the DoD. Like, I
No,
think
of course not.
everyone would agree with that. Um, but fortunately, because he's such a buffoon, he also has managed to piss off everybody who is beneath him at the DoD.
Sure.
So, like, all right.
Well,
Um,
that, but I mean, they've also done a lot of purges of those who are ideologically opposed at the DoD. So that is also kind of a problem, right? Like, yes, he has pissed some people off because he's incompetent, but I don't think to the point. I mean, obviously not to the point where we're having like, the fucking. They're not going to do a coup to save us, because they are ideologically in
I
league.
don't think that they will do that. No. Like, no, I know what you mean. Like, there are some sycophants in there, and that's what basically everyone in the cabinet is a sycophant.
Sure.
But because of that, we've got people like Kristi Noem, who is incapable of doing her job, and so she is basically just deportation Barbie. Like, that's her
Yeah.
job.
I mean, I think it
Like,
doesn't help them at all that they have an entire administration full of like grifting wannabe content creators. Like, none of these people are serious, right? They all want to sell book deals and they all want to post like Zoomer edits on Twitter of how badass they are. Like, as they're arresting women and children and dragging them out of apartments and handcuffing them naked in the middle of the night, and that's their big win as long as they can make a Zoomer edit where it looks based and red pilled or whatever.
yeah, I mean, with the exception of Stephen Miller, yeah, I think that's pretty much accurate for almost the entire
Wait,
cabinet.
1 second. I have to address something.
Sure.
So there's a guy, we have a chud in chat right now who is coming in here to say a bunch of pro-Trump stuff, and he just said, I have never heard a Republican say we need to run them over with a car. That's really funny because your lawmakers actually put forth legislation so that there are fewer consequences and or no consequences to literally running protesters over with vehicles. Your lawmakers are pushing that. The vast majority of political violence is done by right-wingers. Your what is it? What is his fucking name? Not Tim Cotton. Is it Tim Cotton? It's Tim Cotton, right? Is it Tom Cotton? Tom Cotton put an op-ed in the New York Times about rolling tanks on protesters. Get out of the road then. Okay, so you were wrong then. I just want to let you know you're wrong when you say you'd never heard a Republican say we need to run them over with a car. You're wrong. So that is what they say. And also you don't care. So you can't virtue signal with that. You don't care. You're okay with people dying. You are okay with people getting run over. You like it and you support it. Because you just said get out of the road then. So you like people dying. You support it. And you're anti-First Amendment, you're anti-protest, you're anti-free speech. So I just want you to understand that nothing you say matters, and this chat has full permission to be as shitty to you as possible. Okay, go ahead. What were you saying, Hundo?
I don't even remember now.
Sorry, that really pissed me the fuck off.
That was funny.
Yeah, you're talking
all
about
right.
like how you're talking about Stephen Miller and how Stephen Miller is like one of the only guys in this administration that is not like a wannabe content creator.
Yeah, pretty much. That is what I was saying there. I do not think like he's probably the only one who just wants to, you know,
Right.
do horrendous things to
Unlimited third world genocide.
immigrant children and small animals.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
As long as he gets to keep eating baby mice every day, he's probably happy. Like I don't know. But yeah, he's the only one, and the only other person I can think of is maybe Russell Vought.
Oh, yeah, well, Russell Vought jerks off every night to the idea of Project 2025, so, yeah.
Well, yeah, he wrote it. I mean, that's his special brag.
Him, Miller, and Bannon, but I don't know how much sway Bannon actually still has anymore.
I mean, it's kind of hard to compete with Miller if you're Bannon, because, like, Miller, you know, he's evil, yes, but Bannon is evil and looks like he's actually about 300 rats in a skin suit.
It must like, be tough knowing that Stephen Miller has a personality that is so reprehensible that everyone else in the administration hates him, and yet somehow you're still losing the popularity contest to him because also you look like a somehow a worse Rush Limbaugh, and you're an alcoholic. That must really burn Bannon at night.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, I think we've run our course with this. I'm gonna let you.
Yeah, I didn't actually have anything else to add. But basically, that's what my hope is that this does something good for us, and we'll see. I hope I'm right. I hope something good comes from this. But thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Cool. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. I do think it's really funny to say get a job when you're spending your free time in a chat of a streamer that you don't like so that you can say dumb shit that you immediately get blown the fuck out on. That is very funny. I am at my job. Perhaps you should go get a fucking job. Trolling streamers' chats is so, like, that's such spiritually unemployed behavior. And then you're like, why don't you get a job? I don't know, buddy. Why don't you get a fucking job? Yeah, hey, thanks for that. That was a good conversation. I appreciate that. I get where you're coming from. I do. I still think that I'm pretty mad. I think that you have a much more optimistic viewpoint than I do. So all right, we're gonna look at some of the other. Yeah, you're very hope-pilled. I unfortunately am not, and I understand, like, I understand the importance of not doomering. Like, there's one Democrat. I know, the fucking keyboard is ridiculous, I'm sorry. There's one Democrat who's in my mentions and every single thing that I've posted right now, just being like, you're a fucking doomer loser, you're such a fucking loser for doomering, everything's gonna be fine, like, fuck you. And I don't think I'm doomering, I think I'm being realistic about the situation. I mean, you know, maybe something good comes out of this where people get primaried, right? I just also think that we have to be realistic about how bad things are. Yes, I do think that it's bad to just constantly be like, this is the end, everything is terrible, everything is bad, there's nothing that anyone can do, there's no hope, everyone's gonna starve to death, everyone's gonna die, unlimited first world genocide, blah, blah, blah. Hutch, No, Hutch doesn't pick fights with me. No, it's some like random small account, but they're just like spamming it on everything I post. So when I got up this morning, I checked through my comments. I was like, damn, okay, because he's the only one doing it. Hutch doesn't pick fights with me. But you know, I do think that I am seeing people say this, right? Like I'm looking at all these other posts and I'm seeing people talk about doomerism and why it's bad. And you know, I do get that, right? I think that if you are like completely and totally doomering and you're super black-pilled, like, yeah, I don't think that that's necessarily very helpful, right? But I also think that we need to be realistic about the party. We need to be realistic about the party. We need to not just go along with everything the Democratic Party says and does. Like, and I don't want anyone to misunderstand, because you guys will remember that during the election, during the general, when we were having the presidential election, I made all these arguments about why voting for Democrats was the lesser of two evils. I did. I made the lesser of two evils arguments. And I think especially back then, that really was the case. Now you can sit here, hello, Miss Dunderland, hi. You can sit here and you can say, like, point to all of this stuff that would have been a little bit less bad, or that would have been, you know, similarly bad with the Kamala administration. And I don't think that she would have been good on Gaza. And I do think that there are some, we still would have seen deportations. Like, I do understand all of that, right? So, like, please don't misunderstand me. I am not sitting here going in one direction or the other, okay? I'm not saying uncritical support, and I'm also not sitting here saying they are completely the worst, completely evil. We have to treat them as though they're worse than the Republicans. There really is some nuance in this situation, right? Are Democrats consistently better on domestic policy in certain aspects? Yes, that is undeniable, right? Does that mean that we always give them the benefit of the doubt, that we always find a way to spin it, that we always have to go, Chuck Schumer knows ball? Like, no, we don't, right? I think that we can sit here and we can be critical and we can understand that, like, this is still a party with corporate donors. This is still a party who is going to bend the knee to capital interests, right? This is still a party who has had so many opportunities to take care of us and has not. This is still a party that tries to push out progressives. This is still a party where we couldn't get Hakeem Jeffries to endorse Mamdani. We couldn't get Jeffries to endorse Mamdani. We couldn't get Kamala Harris to actually talk positively about him in an interview. What did she say? She was like, oh, there's other rising stars in the party. And then she brought up some politician from, like, Arkansas that no one's ever heard of and no one's ever gonna hear about again. What are we talking about right here, right? And so I do think that there's, like, a time and a place right now to be critical. We can understand that, like, would Kamala Harris be sending Jeffries did meekly, like, oh, I'm sorry. No, what Jeffries said was that Mamdani was not the future of the party. I'm sorry. He did an interview like 2 days before Mamdani won and was like, he was asked if he was the future of the party, he said no, right? So, right, and then Schumer never endorsed him, of course. So we can sit here and we can go, hey, would Kamala Harris have had a cabinet full of he did say that? I'm almost certain I watched him say no. I'm almost certain I watched a video of him saying he was not the future of the party. Would Kamala Harris's administration have sent out a bunch of wannabe grifting content creators to round up women and children and arrest them in the streets and make fucking Groyper Zoomer style videos about it to post online, and then post a bunch of posters of, like, cartoon blonde white people saying protect the homeland? No. And if you think that they would have, you're not paying enough attention. You don't know what's fucking going on. Oh, I'm saying he did say, okay, yeah. So, no, I'm correct. Yeah. So, like, that's a problem, right? I fully understand this. I also understand that they would have been doing deportations too. Now, would they have been sending people to a forever torture dungeon in El Salvador? No, probably not. But they would have been, deporting people. And I think that we have to be able to talk about this with nuance. And it's the same thing whenever the party, we needed to have it during the presidential elections, and we need to have it now. I don't know whether it is that these people who are Dem leadership, I don't know whether it is an ideological problem. I don't know whether it is a being out of touch problem. It's probably some combination of the two. But what I do know is that Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are not the future of the fucking party. There would not have been mass goon squads, but it would have been a continuation of Biden's deportations, and Biden deported a lot. Yeah. I do think that there's, like, sometimes people will act like that doesn't matter. I think it does, though, right? Like, there are second and third tier effects when we look at the fact that there are masked men, masked Gestapo agents running around, treating immigrants like they're pedophiles, right? They treat these people like they're child murderers while they're arresting them. Posting videos of some like flippant joke that Theo Von made about, sorry you got deported. Actually, they treat actual pedophiles better than this. We know that there are pedophiles in the government. We know that there are pedophiles, their fucking God King is a fucking pedophile. We know they're treating them less than human. They're treating them less than dirt, right? Now, is the deportation the same? Yeah, but the secondary and the third tier effects of this stuff, like, there's real fucking problems. Abducting people at their immigration court hearings, yeah. Wouldn't have been doing that under Kamala Harris. This is crazy. This is fucking crazy, and this is a problem. The news has stopped covering Chicago, but ICE are terrifying neighborhoods there in mass. Yeah, they're still there. Yeah. This is a big fucking problem. And I am incredibly frustrated, right, when Republicans already cheat, okay? When it comes to elections, they already cheat. They gerrymander. First of all, I need Nina Turner. I need Nina Turner to shut the fuck up about this. She's driving me fucking crazy right now with this gerrymandering bullshit. We already know that they cheat on an electoral level, okay? They have to cheat to win. They've been doing this for forever. They gerrymander. They make it so that there's 2 polling places open for massive cities for people to vote. They completely purge people from the voter rolls like a week before going to vote. Saw that tweet? What tweet? There's fucking 7 tweets from her about it. She's all over it. That's what that's what Nina Turner's deciding to tweet about right now. So, we know that they have to cheat to win. They purge people from voter rolls, like 3 weeks before elections, 1 week before elections. They throw out tons of ballots. The one you responded to, I didn't know she was on this. Oh, she's on this right now. They throw out tons of ballots. So, unfortunately, right, we need public perception of them to be in the fucking dirt. And they've been doing a really good job with all of the shit that they're doing on their own, right? This administration is doing a great job shooting themselves in the foot. This is the least popular Trump's ever been. People hate this motherfucker. Your average, what's the meme? Nicole, corporate lawyer, suburban mom, thinks that all Republicans are an affront to God. I could call my mom up right. We're going to call my mom right now. We're going to see if she answers. There's a chance she won't answer. I know she's not feeling well. She had a headache. I'm gonna FaceTime my mom right now. My mom is a standard normie dim, okay? Who, like, supported Israel even, like, a year ago. Okay. Hey.
Hey.
Hi, how you feeling?
I feel okay. Feel better today. I just had some soup and yeah.
That's good. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you something. You are on FaceTime with me, so nobody else can see you, but we're on stream right now, okay?
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
If you don't want to talk on stream, that's fine, but I wanted to make a point about how, like, people who have been lifelong Dems, who don't consider themselves to be particularly radical, how perspective has shifted on the Republicans over time. You remember that meme I sent you where it's the corporate lawyer and she says all Republicans are a front to God, and I photoshopped your name and face over it and you loved it?
Yes.
Yes. So, when I say that I think the normal Democrat wants to see Republicans' heads on spikes, would you agree with that?
I don't know.
No?
I said I don't know.
Okay, but how do you feel about it?
You mean what's happened in
Yeah.
the past 24 hours?
Well, not in the past 24 hours, but do you think that, like, your average Democrat has been, like, completely and totally, like, negatively polarized and radicalized against the Republican Party specifically?
No, I don't think that I think that, not radicalized, but I think Republicans kind of did it to themselves, so it's not really super easy. You don't have to be radicalized by them. You just have to know one.
That's actually kind of a better answer. My mom said, no, they have not been radicalized because this isn't radical, actually. That's very funny. Yeah, but, like, okay. So, wait, where are you? Are you home?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. It's just dark.
I know. Just trying to get the dogs to, like, relax.
Okay, gotcha. I think that's very funny. I think that's actually, they're not even radicalized. You just have to actually know one and pay attention to what they're doing is, like, a way better answer than, okay, I love you so much. We're gonna go back because we just finished with a little kind of mini debate about what happened. We are talking about the shutdown right now and how, a lot of people are really frustrated with the decision that, you know, Dem leadership came to.
Yeah, I mean, God, that was a tough call. I mean, it really was. I mean, there's no winner here.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Win.
that's something that we're talking about, right? Is that it's like, it was either people were going to starve en masse or people were going to starve and then not have their health care, and, like, no matter what happens, the American people end up losing.
Right. I mean, there's no winner here, and I mean, you just had to, I guess in their opinion, it was pick the lesser of the two evils. That's how I look how they had to kind of figure it out.
In their opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks either way.
Yeah. Okay, well, I love you. I will call you probably tomorrow.
Okay, you look very pretty.
Oh, thank you. Bye, Mommy.
Bye, love you.
That's fucking incredible. My mom literally said that, no, they're not radicalized. They just they're, because it's not even a radical position to hate them. She said, they're not radicalized, you just have to fucking know one. That's, yeah. I also think my mom doesn't want to say anything crazy on stream. Because she said some things in phone calls off stream that I would think that she probably does not want me to repeat here. Yeah, my mom is like, my mom always tries to take like a very pragmatic, like you heard her say, she thinks in their opinion they were trying to do the lesser of two evils. But, I mean, this is where it's at now. This is where it's at now. They fucking hate them. She literally says it's not even radical. You just have to know them. You just have to be around them. Growing up, I never heard my mom talk about politics, and this year I heard her talking shit about Trump and Charlie Kirk. Whenever the Charlie Kirk thing happened, and I got doxxed, and they doxed my mom too. I don't know if you know this. Whenever my Charlie Kirk tweet went viral, they doxed me, and they doxed her and her husband and my biological dad and my husband, my estranged husband. And I called my mom and I told her, obviously I had to tell her about this, and she was like, I don't give a fuck. I was like, what? Yeah, she literally said to know them is to hate them, and that's not even radical. She was like, I don't give a fuck. She was more concerned about me. But when I read her my tweets, she was like, so? Like the tweets that they all freaked out about. She was like, okay, and? And I was like, well, it's not very nice. And she was like, okay, but it's true. She was like, it's not even that mean. Also, it's true. I was like, yeah. Yeah, pull up, bitch. So you guys have seen me. You guys have seen me telling people on Twitter to pull up, bitch. Because that's my mom. My mom's like, I don't give a fuck. Okay. What even were your tweets? Do we want to read my Charlie Kirk tweets? Let's see. God, she's so funny. I never know what she's gonna say about stuff either. 'Cause sometimes she'll be like, I don't give a fuck all these people, they made their own bed. She literally was like, it's their fault. And then other times she'll be like, oh, well, I don't know if people are so radicalized. I just feel, and then she'll take like the, well, I just feel like, today she took the, well, I just feel like approach. But sometimes you get her in the right mood. She'll be like, fuck these people, these fucking assholes, they fucking deserved it. Can't share a fucking country with these people. And you're like, ooh, Mom. Okay, here are my Charlie Kirk tweets. So, this was, like, immediately after he got shot, and before we had the confirmation that he was dead. So, what I said was, maybe Charlie Kirk shouldn't have spent years being a hateful, demagogic fascist, and this wouldn't have happened. Maybe he should take some personal responsibility. Fuck these people, I do not care. They have grifted tirelessly for years to tear this country apart, make everything worse, and put us all in danger. Charlie Kirk wouldn't piss on you to put you out if you were on fire, an evil man who sold his humanity a long time ago. And those were my first two tweets that I put out initially. And then someone said, this is disgusting, you can still delete it. And I said, I will not. You're all a bunch of weak, un-American traitors. We used to be a country that knew how to handle fascists. All of you would be fucking goose-stepping in World War II. And then this fun clip.
Having an armed citizenry comes with a price. Now, we must also be real. We must be honest with the population. Having an armed citizenry comes with a price. And that is part of liberty. Driving comes with a...
So, I said, all his sycophantic little fans should stand by y'all's principles. This is the world y'all wanted. Y'all started everything and now you want to cry. All of you are weak. And then him talking about how empathy is bad and net negative. And then, yeah. Charlie Kirk said classrooms bathed in the blood of small children was the price to pay for guns, was militantly pro-Israel, wiping out Palestinians, empathy is toxic, spent his whole career propping up systems more violent than I could ever be and running disinformation networks to destroy our country and make you and everyone you care about less safe. And this is my response to Noah Smith. Making you and everyone you care about less safe, and you want to cry because I'm flippant and not sad. The influential fascist is dead. Be fucking serious. Of course, bad things will come of this, but pretending like him not being able to continue harming all of us is some tragedy that I have to be ultra respectful about is fucking ridiculous and an insult to everyone that his advocacy directed violence at. Because Noah Smith was like, this is a fucked up tweet. Shut up, bitch. Bitch. So... I read these tweets to my mom, and she was like, okay, so? I was like, Mom, they're really mad. She's like, let them be fucking mad. I don't care. I don't think you said anything fucking wrong. I'm like, sick. Thank you. So, that's why I am the way I am. She was just sitting in the dark, by the way. She's on the phone. She was just sitting in the dark. I was like, you good? And she's had a headache or something. Noah Smith was described by Michael Brooks and his friend Nando as a child, literally baby-brained. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, I gotta go to the bathroom. It's bathroom time. Okay. I just drank a bunch of coffee. And I gotta go pee. He specifically said there's no uninvolved civilians in Gaza, none, as if babies born in Gaza universally have Hamas deliver their birth certificates on a hand glider. Dude, he said that I used to make the argument that if you were gay, they would throw you off a rooftop in Palestine, but now there are no more rooftops to throw them off of. And then everyone laughed, and he said he went on to go, stupid fucking Muslims. Go piss, girl! Okay, bye, Sonia. Yeah, I'll be right back. I literally don't care about anything that happened to Charlie Kirk. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck. She's so funny. She texts me, She said, thought about it more, and I think we've all been sort of radicalized by the powers that be. We are playing into their hands by becoming divided right where they want us, turn on each other and not the troublemakers. My mom really said that the culture war is manufactured by the capitalist class to keep you from noticing that they're picking your pocket. My mom really said no war but class war. Ooh, that's so funny. Yeah, I said Marx would love that. I know. She's pretty based. Meanwhile, my dad's like trying to fuck with me. He's like, billionaires earned all their money. I'm like, shut up. No, I love my dad. I need to call him back, actually. I like that on Twitter. What it's feeding me in terms of what's trending in politics is Modi and Al-Qaeda. It's Al-Qaeda because Ahmed al-Shara met with Trump in the White House. Bro, I'm so fucking mad. Is my mom single? No. My mom has been married for like 27 years. My mom and my stepdad have been together for like 27 years. They just had their anniversary like a couple weeks ago. Ooh. Ooh, I want to see this. Hold on.
My goodness. My. You all treat us like you've met. The Democrats threw in the towel by siding with the GOP to advance a vote that could lead to the government reopening. And they tried to explain themselves to their unhappy colleagues. Take a look.
I understand that not all of my Democratic colleagues are satisfied with this agreement. But waiting another week or another month wouldn't deliver a better outcome.
This agreement tonight is a win for the American people. There was zero chance of dealing with the ACA issue as long as the shutdown continued. Now, I don't know, 50-50, but there's a lot better chance now than there was this morning.
This was a very, very bad vote. And what the election showed is that the American...
It was.
Okay, let's see what the ladies on The View have to say about this.
Hoping that people would vote them in and say, yes, you can be this person, or you can be a judge, or you can be this. And they all said, no, we're not going to mess with anything. No, we're going to leave everything as it was. I have no faith that they're going to negotiate and come back to the table. And you know, I'm glad that folks, maybe, because, again, we have seen, you say this is going to happen, and then it doesn't happen.
Right.
So surprise me and show me that this is really, that people are going to get their money, that people are going to get the money that they are entitled to. It's not a gift.
Right.
They're entitled to this money during when there's a shutdown. You're entitled to that money.
Yeah.
So
There's
this
a
idea
contingency fund for
that they're giving in and giving this as a gift, it's not a gift. You know, I don't understand. So is he right that Americans wanted Democrats to keep fighting? You know, this would, and you know, people will get rehired, supposedly, federal workers, and reinstate SNAP benefits, but a 50-50 chance of extending the subsidies, I don't believe it.
So I've been saying from the outset, I don't think anyone wins in a government shutdown, and I welcome this deal. And let me tell you why. So the fight over extending the Obamacare subsidies is about addressing 22 million Americans who are going to see their health care premiums skyrocket. I believe that's important. I'm with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm with Mike Lawler and a number of Republicans who believe we have to extend those for at least a year. However, in the interim, while the government remains shut down, 42 million people are losing SNAP benefits ahead of the holidays. So to me, we've got to hold out for those 22 million whose premiums are going to go up, but deny these people SNAP benefits in the meantime. That math doesn't math for me. I think adults need to get to the table and need to be willing to negotiate. And here's the other factor that wasn't mentioned here. Donald Trump has been pushing Leader Thune to nuke the filibuster, which would allow Republicans to reopen the government without needing a single Democratic vote to do so. Leader Thune didn't do that. He actually worked with a number of Democrats to come to this conclusion, which does get Dems some win, reversing those layoffs, as you mentioned, extending SNAP and WIC benefits through the end of 2026, also ensuring that the military and Veterans Affairs get paid, and guaranteeing this vote on Obamacare subsidies, which we'll see. But that is a much better deal than what could have happened if it was not reopened. And finally, Democrats are going to look like losers if they're just attacking each other in this. For some reason, Marjorie Taylor Greene was better at messaging the stakes of this shutdown, it feels like, than a lot of Democrats were.
So I don't agree that Democrats are going to look weak if they're attacking each other. I do agree that she is talking about, like, it's kind of insane and pathetic to be outflanked on messaging by Marjorie Taylor Greene. That is absolutely fucking ridiculous. I think that you're seeing a lot of people talk about, like, she said the math is not mathing, that it's 42 million Americans that are not getting their SNAP benefits versus, you know, I think she said 24 million Americans who are going to go and be kicked off of their health insurance, or their health insurance premiums are going to skyrocket. My issue with this is that 65% of SNAP was funded, right? Now, we talked about it, how it was difficult in some places where they weren't getting anything, in some places it was fully funded, in some places they were getting the 65, how there's, you know, it's going to take like 10 days, a couple of weeks, maybe even like a month, couple months, in some places for people to get their benefits. I understand that. We're talking about a couple of months of not getting those benefits. There's food pantries, there's churches, there's all these other things that we can do. There's other ways to organize and to get people food. It's not good, right? It's not good, but this is a temporary thing where the First Circuit Court of Appeals did push through yesterday and say that they needed to release those funds. Those funds are there. Those funds are available. With the ACA subsidies, that's not like a temporary thing. That's forever. They want to completely gut the ACA. They want to get rid of it. They want to push people off their health care, and they want that to be forever, right? So this is people who, when they get sick, they now can't go to the doctor. Forever. That woman on TikTok kind of debunked churches providing food. The woman on TikTok was asking for money. So I understand why people think that the TikTok thing was really good, and like really made a point, but the woman on TikTok was asking for cash money for formula. The vast majority of churches will not give you cash money, because if they do, everyone else will start calling them asking for cash, asking for direct money. If that woman had called tons of churches and asked directly for formula, the vast majority of churches would have worked with her and given it to her. And I understand that. I think that that's probably not something a lot of people want to hear, and they're probably surprised to hear that from me. But I grew up in churches, and I've done like organizational work with churches. she was asking for literally a bottle of formula. I think some of them, other ones that I saw, she was asking for money. Was it not mixed? Am I wrong? Okay, hold on. Let's see. There's the chance that I'm wrong here. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that some of them, I don't think it's impossible that some of them were saying no to formula. I thought she was asking him for money. Oh, I might be wrong. Ooh! Oh, I hope I'm wrong. Okay, I've seen multiple conflicting things over this. I want to be wrong so goddamn bad. Yeah, I know that the mosque she called absolutely said they would help her. I know that's fucking true. I don't know. I'm not on TikTok. Well, I am, but I don't use it. I don't really even keep it on my phone. Ooh, I think I am wrong. Yay! That's sick. Yeah, I know the mosque said that they would help. That's cool. I really like that. Maybe this was another... I don't know. Maybe I fell for misinfo. Anyway. Ugh. What were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about the fucking View. Yeah, so I think that, like, Sikh temples will give you food as well. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I think that, like, my issue with this is that, yeah, it's also, like, it's a messaging. It's a messaging issue. It really is. It's like a messaging thing. It's a perception thing. And no matter, it's like what we talked about earlier, right? Like, no matter what, all these people are gonna lose their health insurance anyway, right? They're gonna keep fighting to not feed people through SNAP. I get how you're talking about the math here, but I just don't think that that's really what this was about. Also, if we are looking at it from a purely practical perspective, let's say that if they held out, they actually were going to get concessions on extending ACA subsidies, right? Let's say that's, for the sake of argument, that's what the outcome would be. I still think that we're talking about a lot more long-term harm when we're talking about people who just will not have health insurance ever again, right? For a long period of time. And we have Donald Trump. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Donald Trump was talking about how he was, like, saying, hey, maybe we should just give the money. This is so insane to me. He was talking about, like, ACA payments directly to people. He was like, why don't we just give the money directly to the people? He just, like, truthed it out. Such a funny fucking thing to say. And I don't think anyone really took it seriously. Yeah, I love this. Donald Trump has floated a proposal to put the billions of dollars that back the Affordable Care Act tax credits directly into the pockets of Americans. He's so desperate. He's like, okay, we will destroy the money that the tax credit that keeps the prices down. They will skyrocket. But what if we all gave everyone like $150? What if one time we gave everyone $150 and we wrote my name on the check really big? It worked once. He literally was like, hey guys, it worked really well that one time. Why don't we just do that again? They're dumb as fuck, right? Right? We'll all just mail them $150. And I don't know if that's the amount of money it would be, but like, obviously, no matter how much money they sent you one time, it would never even be like remotely enough to cover like, you know, how much your fucking premiums were probably gonna go up by, you know, hundreds of dollars every fucking month anyway. Conceptually, if we filled in the blanks for Donald and assumed everyone had a preloaded HSA account for a 1-year period, and if you went over it, you paid, but if you didn't spend it, tax check. Yeah. Basically, Trump said, what if we gave them a little bit of cake? It worked once, it will work again. Fuck. It's so funny. Yes, so that they can purchase their own much better healthcare, which will now cost $2,000 a month. Fuck. Have you heard about Trump proposing another $2,000 check to Americans because of the tariff revenue? Yeah. Now, what if we gave everyone cake pops, guys?
You have to give people the benefits they are entitled to under SNAP. You have to address the underlying issues of the crisis of healthcare in this country, but get government back working. No one can get anywhere. Flights aren't flying. The holidays are coming.
Yeah.
This is a welcome decision in my mind.
Okay.
Look,
This is driving me crazy, this commentary on, like, flights aren't working, like, people can't fly anywhere. I'm sorry, why are you complaining about your hangnail when you've just been shot in the kneecaps? Why are we talking about this? I don't give a fuck. I have a flight I'm supposed to be on in a couple of weeks to go back to Texas for Thanksgiving. If I had to just eat shit on that so that the fuck you die party was punished even slightly for implementing the fuck you die policy, that's cool, man. I don't care if I don't get to go home. I don't care if people don't get to fly. That's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about, are people going to eat, or are people going to have health care going forward? What? I don't care.
Let's be clear. The Republicans run the House. The Republicans run the Senate. The Republicans run the White House. The Republicans run the Supreme Court, as far as I'm concerned. This was a choice by Republicans to cut SNAP benefits. This was a choice by Republicans to cut ACA subsidies. This was a choice by the Republicans to gut the federal government and federal employment. Democrats had nothing to do with it. I want an opposition party. I think the Democrats caved. I think the Democrats let down the American American people. And like you, Whoopi, I have absolutely no faith that the Republican Party will come to the negotiating table in good faith. You know, you do something like this, shame on you the first time. You do it twice, 3 times, 4 times, shame on me. Shame on the Democrats for even believing that the Republicans will, even vote on it. There's no guarantee in this New Deal that there's going to be a vote. There's no even commitment to.
Everybody fucking knows, dude. Everybody fucking knows. Everybody knows. You cannot have this. I'll be right back. Hi. I know you want food. I know you want food because it's generally time to have been fed already, but you actually have food. If you go check, you see that you got some kibble in there already. Okay. You just gotta go look. Okay, baby, you gotta go check for it. No, you can't sit in my lap right now, honey. I'm sorry, you're too heavy. You're too heavy. Oh, we can hang out a little bit, okay? We'll hang out a little bit later, all right? Yeah, see, I think this is the problem, right? She's saying we need an opposition party. This is my big thing, is like, I think that you have a bunch of like undecided, well, that's changing, right? More and more now we see that we have actually fewer independents as people get more and more polarized. But you do still have undecided, you do still have independents, and you also have people who are just like checked out, who like only understand the biggest headline, only hear about the biggest headlines, right? Only hear from their coworkers, only hear from, what their family members are saying, right? So you got independents, you got people who are just kind of oblivious, and you still have all these Republicans, right? So not only does this make Democrats look kind of feckless and kind of weak and like they did this for no reason to those people, but I also think that you've pissed off the base, right? Because your base now sees you and sees that you're not an opposition party, thinks that you're not fighting for them. Yeah. Does it have to be right now? We gotta give you some greenies again. Yeah, your mouth smells bad. I know. You're stinky. You stinky boy. Educational polarization and message asymmetry is bad news for the Dems, and they have like no plan for it. So, I've seen people talking to me and being like, hey, this runs out in January. When the Republicans don't come to the table in January, we can just do it again. My problem with this, because I've definitely seen the argument that they can just keep shutting the government down, basically. I think that they burned up a lot of their goodwill. I think that the point of shutting the government down was leveraging, right? Leveraging suffering, unfortunately. And okay, guys. There are 2 cats in front of the computer. I really need, I need to go put some kibble in their bowl because they're all 3 of them. The third one is right over here. They're not gonna stop. They're not gonna stop doing this. Okay, I know exactly what you want. I know you don't just want to hang out with mommy. I know you want food. They're not going to stop crawling in front of the monitors and on the keyboard and all over me until I feed them, so give me like 2 seconds. You literally have kibble? I can see it from here. I can see it from here. job, guys. Good job, team. Don't be like that. Hey, don't be like that. We get wet food tomorrow, okay? You know we don't get wet food today. We get wet food tomorrow. Good girl. Good girl. You're the best cat in the house right now, which is very concerning, actually. Okay. He's mad at me now because even though he was just fed, today is the off day. Today is the off day for the rotating wet food schedule. They get kibble every day and they get wet food every other day. And we had wet food yesterday. So today, we're gonna be really mad about it. And we're gonna annoy mommy as much as we possibly can. So, you know, I think the other thing, so we're talking about, like, yes, this is a messaging loss. Very grumpy, yeah. This is a messaging loss with independents, oblivious voters, and Republicans, but it's also a messaging loss with the base, right? How many times can you come back empty-handed before your own voters go, hey man, fuck you. Do something for me. Do anything for me. Anything, right? Even if you have to get a bloody, damaging, hard-fought win, that's better than a bloody, damaging, pointless loss. Out of my face with this. Apparently some of the Dems' reason for capitulating is that they want to keep the ACA subsidy issue open for the midterms next year. All right, we'll look through this article. More than half a dozen House and Senate Democrats expressed anxiety that actually preserving premium subsidies for the Affordable Care Act's enhanced premium tax cuts through their shutdown demands could strip them of a winning issue in the coming midterms, reported the New York Times. Their secondary anxiety involved the powerful Senate filibuster. Yeah, see, I was thinking that they were doing this because they wanted to preserve the filibuster. Their secondary anxiety involved the powerful Senate filibuster, fearing that conservatives might actually bow to Donald Trump's demands to axe the disruptive legislative tool. Okay, so let's see what the New York Times is saying. Let's see where this comes from. This is an opinion piece. This is an opinion piece from Ezra Klein. Ooh. No, thank you. Fuck you. Yeah, they lost Ezra Klein. You know you fucked up when you lost Ezra Klein. Okay, so let's see where Ezra Klein is getting this from. back in September, when I was reporting an article on whether Democrats should shut down the government, I kept hearing the same warning from veterans of past shutdown fights. The president controls the bully pulpit. He controls, to some degree, which parts of the government stay open and which parts close. It is very, very hard for the opposition party to win a shutdown. That's very true, which makes it all the more remarkable that Democrats were winning this one. That is very true. Thank you, Ezra Klein. Polls showed that most voters blamed Republicans, not Democrats, for the current shutdown. Perhaps because President Trump was bulldozing the East Wing of the White House rather than negotiating to reopen the government. Okay, let's actually, hold on, let's put this into perspective for a second. While the government shutdown was happening, Trump was hosting Great Gatsby-style parties. He was bulldozing the White House and sending, $40 billion? Yeah. $20 billion. They were trying to double it to 40. So $20 billion to Argentina, who then turned around and sold soybeans to China for like pennies on the dollar of what it would cost to buy from us. So fucking over our farmers, right? The Argentinian beef deal, right? Argentinian beef deal. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, I thought you were saying the same thing I was saying, the soybean deal. What's the beef deal? I'm reading and talking too fast. There's too much to know. There's just too fucking much. Argentinian beef. Oh, they were importing beef? Yeah, okay. That's right, because because they were talking on Fox News the other day about how he's trying to break up like the big beef monopolies here. And I was wondering, the soybeans were a market rate but not tariffed, I think. Yeah, it doesn't, the particulars of why they were cheaper, it was cheaper doesn't matter. The point is that it was a lot cheaper than getting it from us. They were on Fox News the other day when they were talking about the Ketanji Brown Jackson, the Secretary of the Agricultural Department or whatever. She was on Fox News and she was talking about how the Ketanji Brown Jackson stay decision was actually a huge win. It wasn't. And then she started talking about like how there's a bunch of fraud on SNAP, and then they immediately started talking about the Trump trying to break up big business with beef, the beef industry here. And I didn't understand why, but now I get it, because they were trying to launder the particular details around Trump importing a bunch of beef from Argentina and fucking over, the beef industry here, which, do we want to get into a conversation about the beef industry here and all the problems we have with it? Sure, that's a conversation we can have. But the point is, breaking up big beef. But the point is that it's not exactly very America first, pro-American business, right? So that's not really going to play well with his base. So we've got him undercutting big beef. We've got him allowing Argentina to undercut soybean farmers here, sending $40 billion in general, sending $20 billion in general to Argentina. We've got him bulldozing the East Wing to build his big fuck you ballroom or whatever, and then having this like Great Gatsby Roaring 20s style party while people are starving, fighting to prevent, fighting court orders to give people their SNAP benefits when there's more than enough money. So like, it wasn't going great, right? It looked really bad for Trump. Trump's approval rating has been falling. In CNN's tracking poll, it dipped into the 30s for the first time since he took office again. And last week, Democrats wrecked the Republicans in the election, and Trump blamed his party's losses in part on the shutdown. Democrats were riding higher than they have in months. Oh, do you guys want to see the video of Trump getting booed? I like when you Google Trump getting, the first thing that comes up is shot. You guys want to watch Trump get booed in public? That's really funny. Give me the video. Give me the video. Here it is. Thank you, Dean Withers.
I am saying your name.
Ooh, I don't know if you guys caught that. If you haven't seen the video yet, he just said, I, and state your name. His brain is melting in real time.
You solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies.
That's beautiful that it happened on Fox News, too. They aired it on Fox News. I, and state your name, just drowned out by boos. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yes, just soup for my family. Up here, what is this? Inside, oh, here, it's just soup for my family. I do believe he's reading the oath to the team and not saying it himself. No, he is. He is. He's reading what, you know, he's not like saying it off the dome, but you know, whenever you read on a piece of paper, state your name here, you don't actually say that's like saying the stage directions while you're acting. Like don't do that, you know. That's why it's funny, because he's like, his brain is melting. So good. Okay, anyway, sorry, I just wanted everybody to see that, just in case they hadn't. Okay, so then over the weekend, blah, 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 negotiate a deal to end the shutdown, blah, 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 blah. This is what's happening, everything we've been talking about. Okay, to understand why the shutdown will end with such a whimper, you need to understand the strange role the ACA subsidies played in it. Democrats said the shutdown was about the subsidies, but for most of them, it wasn't. It was about Trump's authoritarianism. It was about showing their base and themselves that they could fight back. It was about treating an abnormal political moment abnormally. Okay? I would like to know where this comes from. Did you interview all the Democrats? Like, I don't know. I'm not saying that he's wrong, but I am saying that, like, I want to know how he's reaching this analysis. The ACA subsidies emerged as the shutdown demand because they could keep the caucus sufficiently united. They put Democrats on the right side of public opinion. Even self-identified MAGA voters wanted the subsidies to extend and held the quivering Senate coalition together. You shut the government down with the Democratic caucus you have, not the Democratic caucus you want. But the shutdown was built on a cracked foundation. There were Senate Democrats who didn't want to shut down at all. There were Senate Democrats who did want a shutdown but thought it was strange to make their demands so narrow. Was winning on healthcare premiums really winning the right fight? Should Democrats really vote to fund a government turning towards authoritarianism as long as health insurance subsidies were preserved? Hold on. I actually saw a really interesting comment that touched on this, actually. And I think it was in response to Tim Miller. So let me see. I tend to like and respect a poster who said it. Here we go. I don't know if I necessarily like and respect him, but I think I've seen some good takes. I've seen some good takes from this poster. I thought that this was by far the most interesting input and most interesting comment that I had seen on this so far. So this is the Tim Miller post. And what we're about to read will be sort of in line with what Ezra Klein is talking about right now. Tim Miller. God, this pissed me off this morning. Ready for my most controversial takes yet? The Dems won the shutdown fight. This fold won't matter at all in next year's midterms, but making the GOP own the dog shit BBB tariff healthcare policies will. I don't know that I agree with that. This is not, I mean, when you look at like, give me redirect privileges, I want to raid in. I don't know what that means. Because, hey, President Sunday, I see that you're on YouTube. I don't know how to do that or what that means because I don't have any sort of technological skills. If I have a YouTube mod in chat that can help him with that, that would be really cool, but I don't know. I'm so sorry. I'm not a real streamer. Okay, anyway. So, I didn't know that you could do raids on YouTube, actually. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, I've actually seen good takes from Matt Stoller. I've seen takes that I didn't like, but I've seen you know what I think? I've seen interesting takes from him, and I like that. I like having, I like, you know, people who make me think about things. Anyway, so Tim Miller says, this fold won't matter at all in next year's midterms. I don't know that that's true. I think that, you know, if there were going to be, I think there's a reason why they didn't have any Dems who were up for re-election next year in the midterms vote for it. And I think that him saying this, I think that completely contradicts this point right here. This is not an example of Dems not fighting like Republicans. It's a longer shutdown than anything the kamikaze Tea Party ever did. I don't know that these ideas are connected. The Republicans fight dirty. Just saying that the shutdown was long is not an example of fighting dirty, especially when they're going to completely concede and not get anything they want. Republicans fight dirty until they get what they want. So I don't know that these ideas follow. The people who are mad about this are a small subset of the electorate that treat politics like sports, and it's possible that their crying about the fold will contribute to snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. We already talked about this earlier. This is the thing I brought up when Hundo was on the call. Obviously, this is not the case. I don't think any of us here view this as a team sports thing, and I also think that when you have everyone from Globe Twitter to, you know, Marxist-Leninist Maoists all getting mad about this, I don't think that they're on the same team, so I'm just really not buying this. And not even because I'm not buying it because I know it doesn't apply to me. I'm saying I'm not buying it because I think it doesn't apply to most of the people that I've seen mad about this. I think most people are furious about this, and they can actually articulate why, and they have good reasons for why they're mad. There was no path to getting, yes, the Marxist-Leninist Maoist Dangus Luxemburgists. There was no path to getting the Obamacare subsidies back because the GOP controls everything and was never going to do it, and they are fake populists. Dems should run against them on that topic, and they have a great case study now. MTG helps with that. Right? I mean, I think we agree, right, that they weren't going to give them back to us, but forcing that issue was the point, right? Dems should run against them on the topic. Moving against them on the topic was the shutdown. That was moving against them on the topic. Okay. This is pissing me off. It's giving me so much. I'm sorry, I'm like playing with my hair so much because this is just giving me anxiety and I need to do something with my hands. The fact that there was no getting Obamacare subsidy extension in game was obvious at the start, and anyone setting that expectation was lying to people. Okay. Fine. Whatever. So, Where is he? Yeah. So I saw this comment, and I don't agree with this, but I thought that this was interesting. And probably the most interesting, and the only person I've seen bring this up outside of now the Ezra Klein article that we're reading. He says, you make a lot of fair points that I agree with. The fundamental issue is how Senate Dems frame the problem in the first place. If the issue is that Trump is being an authoritarian who doesn't adhere to the rule of law, then how is lowering healthcare costs for 20 million people a reasonable ask? That's a nice thing to do, but it's just an odd demand. How do I... You know what? Maybe I can go to YouTube and... Hold on. I'm actually gonna... Sorry, ADHD moment. I'm gonna go to YouTube. Hey, President Sunday, are you still here? He probably raided into somebody else, but... Let me see if I can go to the chat here and get that to load. I probably just should have pulled up YouTube in the first place and done this when I said I didn't know how. Give me a redirect for rules. Huh. Okay, I don't know how to do it from here. I'm just gonna make him a moderator. Okay, anyway, sorry. We're on some, no, he was trying to raid into me, but that was a little bit ago. He probably went somewhere else. Sorry, ADHD moment. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm focusing, we're locked in. Whew. I did take my Adderall today, guys. So it's been better than usual, right? Okay. So, that's a nice thing to do, but it's just an odd demand. He sent us here manually, link the stream in the chat. Based. Thank you, President Sunday, you are an angel. It became the demand because that's the only thing the caucus could agree on as an excuse to fight Trump for some period of time. Of course, they caved. That was inherent to the coalition not actually agreeing on what the problem was that had to be solved. Some asked, how do we stand up to Trump? Some asked, how do we lower GOP approval ratings? Some asked, how do I placate an angry base? Few actually asked, how do we lower healthcare costs for 8% of the public? This isn't the issue with Trump, and everyone knows it. I agree with you that the shutdown doesn't matter in terms of midterms. I don't. But it reflects a structural problem within the Dem coalition. We fundamentally don't agree on ideological goals, and that became obvious when we didn't have a coherent ask. To offer a thought experiment, let's say that we agreed the problem broadly speaking that Trump, let's say that we agreed the problem broadly speaking is that Trump is fostering an oligarchy. Then the shutdown had a lot of possible endpoints because we could accept anything that lowers investment returns for oligarchs or increases returns for labor. A whole panoply of options would open up for negotiation, and a midterm policy platform would emerge. However, that would require some unity of governing vision. I fear that this shutdown resolution, while it doesn't matter in and of itself, reflects a paralysis that will continue to undermine the Democrats as it did under Biden. That is, this shutdown only modestly helped foster a midterm agenda. That's the problem I see. So I don't agree with all of this, but I thought that this was an interesting comment that really made me think, and I also didn't really realize that there was that much, I didn't realize that there was that much disagreement within the Democrats about the shutdown and what the goals of the shutdown were. We have Bigger Boomstick says authoritarianism can take hold easier if people are less financially stable. Increased healthcare costs or losing it altogether threatens that stability. It's harder for fascists to win if people are less stable. Yeah, I agree. Well, I don't know. I'm sorry, you corrected it. You said it's easier for fascism to take place if people are less stable. Yeah, because I was like, I don't know if I agree with that, because I think you're contradicting yourself. But I agree, right? Like, I mean, that's kind of the whole thing that they do with the faux populism, right? Is that if you are not doing well, and if you are uncertain, right? Because I think that, you know, a lot of times when we talk about fascists taking hold of power, people will say, like, oh, everyone is, like, doing financially poorly. And then you'll have, no, you corrected yourself. It's fine. I was just confused for a second there because I was reading and thinking at the same time. You'll have people like on Globe Twitter will talk about, like, hey, actually, you know, a lot of people, like the median American has $10,000 in savings, right? Like, and they'll point to the fact that there are a number of people in this country who are doing really well. But I think that it's less about, like, is everyone flat broke? It's less about that, and is there instability? Are people uncertain? Do people perceive that at any moment it could all be yanked out from underneath them? Or do people perceive that they're living paycheck to paycheck, right? Do people perceive that rent is, like, in some cases 40%, 50% of their fucking income, right? Are costs for very specific things rising? I think that you're right that it's about stability, not necessarily like, is everyone starving to death immediately right now, right? And so, yeah, I do think that, you know, when there is that fear, it's really, in that instability, it's really easy for them to go, hey, this is happening to you, and we will acknowledge it, and the reason why it's happening to you is because of brown people, or because of feminism, mostly brown people, right? Whereas Dems and, like, some libs will be like, actually, it's really not that bad because the median fucking American has $10,000 in their savings. And it's like, okay, cool. A lot of people are still very afraid. There is still a lot of instability. A lot of people don't have $10,000 in their savings. And I think that, you know, I do worry. I do worry that by not sticking with the messaging of, hey, this is happening to you because the Republicans are doing it, that it will just become another point of instability and another point of contention, and it does sort of do the opposite, where instead of having that villain on the hook to blame, it probably does push people more into the direction of being able to be radicalized even more and being even more vulnerable, right? That, or just doomering and not caring. And the people who are smart enough to realize, hey, Republicans are doing this to you, kind of losing hope and not voting, right? Maybe they just won't go to the polls now. Maybe they just won't knock on doors now. Maybe they'll think that none of it matters. No. So, ooh, Katie Wilson just took the lead by, okay, so for you guys who are unaware, it's Katie Wilson running for mayor of Seattle. She just took the lead in the race by 91 votes. They still have about 8,000 left to count. The group I'm part of did thousands of calls and door knocks for her. It feels pretty good. That's awesome, Scary Spikes. That's really, really good. I'm glad that you got out there, and I'm glad you were doing that. Really, really, really appreciate that from you. We'll see. We will see. I know Progressive Victory really hit it hard for her, so we will see what happens. And here's hoping. All right. Okay, so then Ezra Klein continues. Sorry, remember, we're trying to read an Ezra Klein article. And what if winning on the healthcare fight was actually a political gift to Trump? Absent a fix, the average health insurance premium for 20 million Americans will more than double. The premium shock will hit red states particularly hard. Tony Fabrizio, Trump's long-term pollster, has released a survey of competitive House districts showing that letting the tax credits expire might be lethal to Republican efforts to hold the House. Why were Democrats fighting so hard to neutralize their best issue in 2026? The potential logic of the shutdown fight was inverted. If Democrats got the tax credits extended, if they won, they would be solving a huge electoral problem for Republicans. If Republicans successfully allowed the tax credits to expire, if they won, they would be handing Democrats a cudgel with which to beat them in the elections. This is why Senator Chuck Schumer's compromise, which offered to reopen the government if Republicans extended the tax credits for a year, struck many Democrats as misguided. Morally, it might be worth sacrificing an electoral edge to lower health insurance premiums, but a one-year extension solved the Republicans' electoral problem without solving the policy problem. Why on earth would they do that? In any case, Republicans were not interested in Schumer's offer. Trump himself has shown no interest in a deal. Rather than negotiating over health care spending, Trump has been ratcheting up the pain the shutdown is causing. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers have been furloughed or fired. The administration has been withholding food assistance from Americans who desperately need it. Airports are tipping into chaos as air traffic controllers go without pay. More than anything else, this is what led some Senate Democrats to cut a deal. Trump's willingness to hurt people exceeds their willingness to see people get hurt. I want to give them their due on this. They are hearing from their constituents and seeing the mounting problems, and they are trying to do what they see as the responsible moral thing. They do not believe that holding out will lead to Trump restoring the subsidies. They fear that their Republican colleagues would, under mounting pressure, do as Trump had demanded and abolish the filibuster. Whether that would be a good or a bad thing is a subject for another column. This, in the end, is the calculation of defecting Senate Democrats. The defecting Senate Democrats are making. They don't think a longer shutdown will cause Trump to cave. They just think it will cause more damage. If I were in the Senate, I wouldn't vote for this compromise. Shutdowns are an opportunity to make an argument, and the country was just starting to pay attention. If Trump wanted to cancel flights over Thanksgiving rather than keep healthcare costs down, I don't see why Democrats should save him from making his priorities so exquisitely clear. And I worry that Democrats have just taught Trump that they will fold under pressure. That's the kind of lesson he remembers. But it's worth keeping this in perspective. The shutdown was a skirmish, not the real battle. Both sides were fighting for position, and Democrats, if you look at the polls, are ending up in a better one than they were when they started. They elevated their best issue, healthcare, and set the stage for voters to connect higher premiums with Republican rule. It's not a win, but given how badly shutdowns often go for the opposition party, it's better than a loss. Okay. So there's some stuff I don't agree with here. I understand the points he's making, though. This is kind of really crazy when we're in a place where it's like an accelerationist race. It really is a question of, like, who are the bigger accelerationists? When there are Senate Dems who are taking more of an accelerationist stance on this than, like, me? I mean, this is wild. This is completely insane, right? Like, what this is arguing is that a number of Senate Dems... What this is arguing is that a number of Senate Dems wanted things to get even worse. That they were willing to let all of these people lose their health care because then next year they can turn around and they can go, hey, look who's doing this to you. Look who did this to you. You don't have health care anymore now. Republicans did that. They want to leverage that suffering. Is this going to trigger the swearing in of the Arizona rep? When the House meets again, it will, yes. When the government reopens and the House meets again, they're going to have to swear her in. I don't think that they can proceed forward and vote on the CR until that happens. And, you know, the resolution is not going to pass until we have the Senate votes on it first, and then it'll go over to the House, and they'll have to vote on it. So, like, even though they came to this decision last night to move forward, it's still going to be a little bit. I mean, we're in, like, the very beginning stages of the shutdown ending. It's still going to be a little bit. Both the chambers have to vote. And, yeah, I don't believe that they can vote until they swear her in. So Mike Johnson is going to have to do that. Which then means that we will have some sort of progress on the Epstein situation. This is tough, right? So basically what he's saying here is that the Dems didn't want to... The Dems wanted healthcare to go away so that they could leverage it next year. I think for me that's a hard sell, right? He already said today he won't commit to holding a vote for the ACA subsidy, didn't he? Oh, I mean they've been against it from the start. They just got like a pinky promise that they'll have a vote in December. That's it. Meanwhile, the whole time they've been saying they're not going to do it. They're not going to vote for it. I don't know if we will get a vote. I have a hot take. I think the Epstein list is fool's gold and it will not lead to electoral success for the Democrats by itself. Yeah, I don't think so either. I think that we have more than enough information about Trump and Republicans being associated with Epstein. I think that if people don't give a fuck about the fact that Trump and Epstein were like besties, I don't think finding out that he was like on the plane a million times or on the island is going to change anything. And I don't think he was on the plane or on the island. We've had Epstein victims come forward and say that they saw Trump in situations where women were being trafficked to him. We have a 13-year-old that came forward and said that he raped her when she was 13. I don't think these people care. I think that if you've gotten to this point and you are not convinced, I don't think anything is going to change your mind. And I think if those files do come out, they'll just say that it's fake. They'll all say it's fake. I don't think that fucking matters at all at this point. But yeah, so they do not believe that holding out will lead to Trump restoring the subsidies. They feared that their Republican colleagues would, under mounting pressure, do as Trump had demanded and abolish the filibuster. So I guess, like, to me, this is a situation where they're saying, hey, we want to accelerate things, but next year. So we want the ACA subsidies to not be funded so that in a year from now, during the midterms, when people don't have their health care anymore, we just want to go ahead and fold on that and not even try to fight for it, so that in the midterms, when people don't have their health care, that we can point to the Republicans and see they did this. I personally think that if you hold out, right, and you allow, I guess I'm probably being the more of an accelerationist here, right? I think that if you hold out now and you let the chaos absolutely spike in a totally catastrophic way throughout the holidays, because let's face it, people do care about whether they can get on a plane and go see fucking Mima back in Florida. They do care about that. I think that if you have people going through the holidays still not fully having their SNAP benefits, or watching the Trump administration fight the Supreme Court, because that's what would happen next, because the First Circuit Court of Appeals said, hey, this is illegal, you got to pay them out, you got to pay out the remaining 35%, you got to release the funds. I think that if we watched the administration say, no, fuck you, and made it go to the Supreme Court, and they fought it at the Supreme Court, and they let the holidays go by in utter chaos, yeah, I think that that's much more likely. And for the Dems to be able to stand by as all this is happening during the holidays and go, do you see what they are doing so that they don't have to give you health care? Do you see them driving this country off a fucking cliff so that they don't have to give you health care? I think that that is a much stronger position than, well, we tried to get them to play ball for a month and a few days, and then they wouldn't do it, and now all this stuff is bad, and look, this stuff is bad because it's their fault, guys, and we really tried our best. Like, I think that's a much weaker position. I think if you force them, if you stand there and say, they are forcing this, we are standing here and we are still fighting for you. We are still holding out to get you health care. We are still fighting for you. We are putting everything on the line for you, because we are trying to make sure that you don't go without health care, that your premiums don't double and they don't triple. And they are causing all of this to oppose us, not to oppose us, to oppose you. If they had done the Trump, they're not after us. They're after you. We're just in the way. That shit works so well for Trump. It's his base that you have to fucking appeal to, because it's his base that's getting hit the hardest. If you had sat there and you had strong-armed him into burning everything to the fucking ground, that would have been immensely better messaging. If all of this is about messaging, why did you half-ass it? It's all about messaging. That's all it ever was gonna be. Fucking commit. If you're gonna make the decision, fucking commit to it. Talking about, like, fighting fire with fire. You can't play fair. Playing nice and conceding and hoping that somehow voters go, well, you didn't really do much for us and you kind of half-assed the situation and now we hate everyone, so, you know, nothing matters and no one's really on our side. Cool. That's really galvanizing. That really makes me want to get out and vote. But if you had stood strong, and you had carried the torch and you'd said, we are taking a fucking stand. We are taking a fucking stand and we are going to force Trump's hand and force him to play his fucking cards. If he wants to throw a fit, yeah, you can't half-ass trying to Walter White the situation. What the fuck? They think it will just cause more damage. Good, that's what needs to fucking happen. Because nothing else has been working. If Trump is so determined to drive us off a cliff, and there's nothing that you can really do, if the military is not going to coup him, if you're not going to organize an Operation Valkyrie, I'm sorry, that's where we're at right now. If you're not willing to do away with this man and deal with this administration extrajudicially and you still want to play ball, you have to fucking strong arm the situation. Don't half-ass it. If there's nothing else that you can do, force him to drive us off the fucking cliff. He's gonna do it anyway. At least stand for something while he's doing it. At least make it abundantly clear he's the one driving the fucking car. I'm so fucking mad. I'm still not completely counting out military coup down the line. I don't know. I'm not willing to hope. I'm not willing to hope for that. I don't think anyone's coming to save us. Yeah, a bunch of Texans don't vote because they don't think it fucking matters. Yeah. Yeah, we have to save each other. We have to save each other because no one else is coming to. Sometimes you just have to let the leopards eat faces and make them own the face-eating leopards. Yeah. Yeah. I'm so incredibly frustrated by this. Check this out.
Democrats, when the Democrats are actually the ones with the upper hand in the eyes of voters. How are Republicans going to use leverage in their fight with Democrats when the Democrats are actually the ones with the upper hand in the eyes of voters?
Oh, I'm sure Democrats will be more than happy to open the government now. The election's over. I mean, part of the reason they shut it down was to get through tonight.
I mean, I
would suspect they'll be glad to open it up by the end of the week.
Adam Schiff, he was like, hold the line.
AOC, there's lots of rumors of people wanting to open it.
Look, I don't see what is the incentive for Democrats to back down when voters are basically saying Trump's not doing enough, it's the Republicans' fault, and then they basically handed the keys in this past election to the Democrats. Where's the leverage?
Again, these are blue states electing Democrats, not a shock. Democrats clearly wanted this shutdown to get through Election Day. I do think they are facing pressure from their internal coalitions. The unions, the air traffic controllers, the government employee unions are desperate to get the government back open. They're feeling a little bit of internal heat. But again, the election's now over. I'm sure tomorrow morning phones will start ringing and it'll be open soon enough. This was a political shutdown, and that's what they did, and now we're through the election day.
Cool. So, just in case you guys didn't read this caption yet, Scott Jennings, the man who tweeted this, is the man who's talking in this clip. He is a right-wing pundit on CNN, and he said, "Right again, called it on Tuesday night. Dems could have done this deal 35 days ago, purely political. They hurt people for nothing other than politics." So now, 61,000 likes. Hadn't even been up 24 hours. Now, the messaging is going to be, Dems only did this shutdown so that they could make these marginal wins in places that were already blue on the 4th. That's what the narrative is now. They just made the shutdown their fault. It was Republicans' fault. And they just made it their fault. It feels like that's the narrative because that's what happened. I don't know. I think that's simplifying it quite a bit. I think after everything we've read, that's simplifying it quite a bit. It's too reductive. I don't think they did this just so that they could pull through on the 4th. I actually don't think that this was some calculated thing to get us through the 4th. I think that this is actually just cowardice. I think that it's possible that Klein is right and that this was disorganization and cowardice. Yeah, and it's possible that, Schumer never wanted it from the start. Oh, damn. I didn't realize this. I ratioed the fuck out of Nina Turner. So Gavin Newsom. Dark woke's strongest soldier, Gavin Newsom, who wants to be president more than he wants to breathe air, said, pathetic. And he's correct. Pathetic. Is Gavin Newsom flagged by Shinigami eyes? Yes, he is. Yeah, yes, he is. So Nina Turner pops in there, and she goes, but let's gerrymander these folks into power, right? Pot, meat, kettle. Partisan gerrymandering leads to politicians who work for corporations, not their constituents. Girl? No, I'm sorry. Ma'am. The grown woman. Ma'am, do you know what time it is? You know what fucking time it is, Nina Turner? We're at fucking war o'clock, ma'am. I just, unfucking believable. Unbelievable. So I said, we're not playing the when they go low, we go high game. We're at war with people who do not give a fuck about the rules and want to strip us of everything. Nina Turner in context collapse. Name a more iconic duo. Yeah, gerrymandering them out of power isn't enough. I need a plan to put red states under Reconstruction. Yeah, okay, let me tell you something, Nina Turner. I understand the argument. I do. I get it, right? She goes on to be like, we can't do gerrymandering because we can't trust this current Democratic Party. And like, okay, fair, valid. Nina Turner, I would force every Republican politician to walk the plank okay, you know, hold on. We're gonna dial it back. We're gonna dial it back. In Minecraft, I'm joking. Not only do I want the Democratic Party to gerrymander the ever-living fuck out of every territory that they control, to push Republicans out of power, I want them to abolish the Republican Party. I want them to have trials and tribunals, and I want people who are currently in the Republican Party to go to fucking prison for the rest of their fucking lives. I don't care what you do. I don't give a fuck how illegal it is. I don't care if you have to overtly cheat. They've been doing it for forever. All they do is fucking cheat. All Republicans do is gerrymander and cheat and purge people from voter rolls and find reasons to throw out ballots. I don't care. Democracy cannot exist with an openly anti-democratic party. If we don't do a Nuremberg Part 2 Electric Boogaloo in the next 6 years, I'm going to be so upset. I don't care. They are an existential threat to all of us. They are locking up our neighbors and throwing them into El Salvadorian forever torture dungeons where people don't get out. And the one guy that got out, now they're trying to send him to fucking Kenya. I don't care what you have to do to stop these people who are going online and who are having 19-year-old staffers put together videos where they're doing like fan cams of immigrants being ripped away from their spouses and like crying in parking lots as they put like Dog the Bounty Hunter music over it. I don't give a fuck what you do to those people. They don't care. They have no respect for human life. They have been fighting court orders to distribute benefits that we have the money for and that people are entitled to. They are fighting court orders so that they can starve their own constituents. Do you understand that? They are fighting court orders so that they can continue to starve their own constituents so that they don't have to give anybody health care. We're not on some when they go low, we go high bullshit. Not anymore. Because it doesn't fucking work. Because they don't care. They don't want to play nice. They don't want to play by the rules. There are no fucking rules anymore. They are trying to erode our establishments, our institutions from the inside out. They do not believe in democracy. They do not believe in not gerrymandering, and they are doing it every second that they can. And you want to say, while they burn everything to the ground, we don't want to give the Democratic Party any potential power. I want the Democratic Party to crush them under their heels. I want the Democratic Party to round them up and send them to prison forever. I don't give a fuck if they make it to where they can't get elected. Nina. They are trying to starve their own constituents so that they don't have to give people health care. We are watching videos of them pushing elderly activists to the ground and giving them brain damage. We are watching videos of them assaulting candidates. What is Kat running for? The House? Kat? Yeah. She's running to represent a district in Chicago, I think. We watched a video of them push a congressional candidate to the ground for protesting, fucking pepper spray her. She's like 5'0" 110 pounds soaking wet. We watched them shove her to the ground, and now they are trying to indict her and hit her with terrorism charges for rightfully protesting, which is her First Amendment fucking right as an American. No, we're not doing this. Let's hold hands and sing Kumbaya and try to do everything by the rules bullshit while they're killing people and rounding up families and tearing families apart. and starving people and gutting any and all programs for people, while they're instituting 50-year fucking mortgages that you and your children and your children's children will be paying for. We do not live in a democracy any longer. I can't fucking... I can't fucking deal with this. Oh wow, finally a good take from you. Thanks. Merrick Garland is the worst Merrick. We don't claim Merrick Garland. We have to face the reality that the Democrats we have will not meet the moment and do not have the stomach for what's ahead. They don't realize the government itself exists to benefit Trump now. I think some of them do. Not enough. The rules as we used to know them no longer apply. I need these people to wake the fuck up. I need Nina Turner to wake the fuck up. I need Senate Dems to wake the fuck up. Playing nice is not going to get you anywhere any longer. The more you play nice, the more they will use it against you. If you're going to fight this administration, you need to fight it. And that means bad things are going to happen. Also, I'm sorry to go back to this, but one chatter who said Republicans don't post or make violent things, has he heard of Mike Lee? Oh, he's gone. That guy was only here for like 2 minutes in the beginning. They know. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. They come in here and they say that stuff to be disruptive. They don't care. Jeffrey says Schumer is effective, should keep his job. I'm going to explode. Have you ever been so mad you threw up? Have you ever been so angry that it gave you anxiety? Let's see what our resident dumb fuck Marine has to say. Listen. 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 I kind of don't even care. I kind of don't even care. I get it. I get it. I get it. I think... Here's what I'm gonna tell you. Here's what I'm gonna tell you what I think really happened. Okay? I think that this crayon eater went to Croatia and got a badass skull tattoo with all of his other little dumb fuck crayon eating Marine friends. And I think somewhere along the way, someone was like, hey man, I think that's a Totenkopf. And he was like, what? And they were like, I think that's a death's head tattoo. And he was like, what? And they were like, here's the Wikipedia page. And he went, fuck. I think he went, oh fuck. And then everyone around him was kind of like, wow, you're a dumb fuck. And he was like, I think I'm a dumb fuck. And then it probably became an inside joke that everyone talked about Uncle Platner, the dumb fuck crayon-eating uncle, who accidentally went and got a Nazi tattoo, and it probably was even funnier in a fucked up sort of way in his circles because he is so clearly a leftist and has been for a long time. We can see through his posting history, he's been a leftist for a long time. So am I buying that he was like, oh, I didn't know what the tattoo was. I didn't know what the tattoo was until yesterday, so I went and I got it covered up. No, I think that dumb fuck knew what the tattoo was. But I also think that it was probably something where it was like, Uncle Plattner's a dumb fuck, what are you gonna do? And he was like, I'm a dumb fuck, what are you gonna do? And didn't fucking do anything about it until it became abundantly clear that he needed to do something about it. I don't think that, and then he went out and he got it covered. I don't think that he could sit there and tell the American people, well, yeah, it's a Nazi tattoo, but I'm kind of a dumb fuck, and it was just kind of like a dark joke, like I have a dark sense of humor, like, I don't know, like some real dirtbag lefty shit. A real fucking dirtbag crayon-eating dumb fuck lefty. I think that's the situation at hand. Yeah, covering it up with pagan esotericism was also very funny, yes. Do I think that that says great things about Graham Plattner? No, not really. No, not really. Do I think that he's probably as I will state for the record now, probably for the 7th time, a dumb fuck crayon-eating idiot jarhead? Yes. Have I met a million of these guys? Yes. Sex workers and Marines, name a more iconic duo. What are you gonna do? Anyway. Yeah, he's a jarhead living up to his fucking name. That's what I think the situation is. Do I think that's great? No. Do I think that this man is way better than Janet Mills, who's gonna give us a big, heaping, steaming platter of nothing? Unfortunately, yes. Yeah, this guy would have been a recurring bit on Cumtown if this was 7 years ago. Yeah. So, is this man, people say maybe he's a Fetterman. I don't know. Guy is running for Senate, not Inked magazine. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think he's a Fetterman. Yes, he has TBIs. Yes. Look, Fetterman had a fucking stroke, okay? Fetterman has brain damage. That's the difference. Oh, if you think that this man does not have brain damage, I have a bridge in Idaho to sell you. Never confirmed this for sure, but his old campaign manager, who was Jewish, said that he knew it was a Totenkopf and called it Mike Toady. Yeah, exactly. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Thank you, Tyrnex. Yeah, I'm almost certain that this man has TBIs. But you know what? Looking through his, he has the right sort of brain damage to make, yeah, he has the correct kind of TBI. He got the correct kind of concussion. Just riddled with CTE. But it's working out in our favor for now. I don't care what's in this man's heart. I care if he's going to run on a populist agenda and actually do good shit for Mainers. That's what I care about. Now, if he starts saying weird racist shit, then yeah, that would be a problem. Let's see what our current favorite crayon eater has to say.
Graham here. Well, it's not really good morning at all. It's gray, rainy, and dreary, but more importantly, it is a bleak morning for millions of American families. Because last night, some Senate Democrats caved. They caved and they voted with Republicans. And now, up to 20 million Americans are going to watch their health care premiums double, triple, and in some cases quadruple. Now we are on a path to watch 15 million Americans possibly lose access to health care insurance in the first place. This happened because Chuck Schumer failed in his job yet again, because they do not understand that when we fight, we win. When we hold the line for working families, for working people, we win. But they don't get this. They see all of this as a game. These are just numbers on a sheet of paper, not people's lives. But I can tell you, down here in Eastern Maine, a doubling of healthcare premiums destroys families. That's not an exaggeration. It's not hyperbole. That is.
I'm sorry, someone in chat just said he looks and sounds like a guy from Red Dead Redemption 2.
Real,
really good.
and it is going to happen now. We need to elect leaders that want to fight.
Like Dutch.
We need to elect leaders that care about people, that care about the actual outcomes of policies. That is why I am asking all of you, call in today. Call your senators. Call your congresspeople. Call your senators and tell them that Chuck Schumer can no longer be leader. Call your congressmen and tell them that they cannot vote for this when it comes to them on Wednesday. We need to fight back. But sadly, until we elect more Democrats that understand that fighting is what we need to do, we're going to find ourselves in this position over and over and over again.
Okay, I actually have to say that. We're doing a little bit of shit posting to make me feel better. Yeah, okay, listen.
Good morning, everyone. Grant.
Plattner is built like an orc, I'll be honest. Jarhead physiognomy. Jarhead phrenology. It's true, okay? It's true. But you know what else is true? American voters are gonna look at this orc man. I have a plan, Arthur. Jarhead. American voters are gonna look at this jarhead orc motherfucker who says, everything is terrible and Democrats are failing you. And they're gonna go, you know what? I know a lot of jarhead orc-looking motherfuckers. I relate to this. I've seen this before. This makes me feel comfortable. And he's right. Dems are failing us. God, after? Yeah, he's a crayon-eating orc, but he's our crayon-eating orc, god damn it. After the Reddit messages, you know, I think this orc has a point. After the Reddit messages came out, his popularity went up. It went up with voters. Voters saw the real shit he was saying on Reddit, and they went, damn, that fucking slaps, actually. They said, that orc has some good points, actually. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's the same with Jay Jones. Jay Jones said, every Republican alive is an affront to God. And Susan, who lives in Virginia, Susan, corporate lawyer and mom, working mom from Virginia, went, you know what? I love dark woke. Every Republican alive is an affront to God, actually. That man's getting my vote. Virginians really fucking said bet? Bet. Absolutely. It doesn't matter. They want blood. They want blood. And I don't even think they saw ACAB and they said, this guy's a real one. This is a real motherfucker. Yeah, people look at this guy and they say he's a real motherfucker. A real dumb motherfucker, but a real one. J. Jones winning by 9% was hilarious. Oh, that was incredible. Yeah. And what's even funnier is the lady who released his text messages, the lady who released those for them to be published, losing her race. That is beautiful. That is truly beautiful. Virginia going, you know what? I take it back. Evelyn Normie Lib was right. The blood of the tyrants will water our fields. Yeah, man. I think he's gonna win. I think he has a real shot at winning. The GOP will not stop these tactics, and now they won't be shy about drawing blood because it gets the goods. You can expect more until it's properly rebuffed. Yeah. I think he's gonna win. Let's see what he's polling at right now. I have to leave at like probably 6:45 at the latest. I want to see what he's currently polling at. I guess the latest one is from like a couple of weeks ago. Oh yeah. Sorry guys, I'm on Mountain Time. I know a lot of you are used to us talking about stuff in terms of Central Time, but I am on Mountain Time. Because I live in Utah. It's so good. Oh, he's so dumb. It's so bad too. The tattoo that he got to cover it is so fucking bad. It looks like an inflation furry tattoo. Jesus Christ. Letting Graham win destroys any and all credibility we ever had in opposing Israeli atrocities? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I don't think so, because what's happening in Israel is that they're actually killing, Israel is like doing a genocide, right? Like they're, and I'm not going to be too antagonistic here, but you know, Israel is doing an actual genocide, right? They're actually bombing people, they're actually starving people, they're actually preventing aid from going in, they are actually targeting civilians, and they've been doing this for a long time, right? Like, he has the I know he does. I know he does. I know he does. I know. That said, different things are different, right? Like, there's a difference between being edgy and actually doing real world harm. I don't like it. I understand, look, I get where you're coming from. I do. And I understand where your concerns are. And I'm sure you heard what we were talking about earlier, like what I was saying earlier leading up to this. I don't trust him. He lied about not knowing what it was. I know. Were you here when I was saying what I think happened a few minutes ago? I get it. Let me put it to you this way. The situation is, we've got Mills, we've got Collins, or we've got him. I know. I know. But until someone else steps up, we've got him. If there was someone else running, someone else willing to but there's not right now. Now let me tell you this. If someone else steps up to the plate between now and then, right? And they are a populist, they are a progressive, and they have a cleaner slate, then I will support them. You mean to tell me there is no one in Maine who is progressive, who makes progressive mouth sounds and doesn't have a Nazi tattoo? I mean, I don't know. That's the thing, right? Is that like I'm not up there, right? I can't do anything about it. I can't run. Now, if someone does run, if someone else does run, and they want to go against him and they want to try, I will support them 100%, right? I don't like that he has the tattoo. Have some fucking standards. This is what it is. This is what it is. The situation is, we don't have anyone else running. There is another candidate running on a progressive platform in the race. They are linked to a scam pack. Oh, Jesus Christ. They have spent over $2 million in the race so far and poll at 1%. No one else has been able to capture the energy like Plattner. We have a first-time chat from James who says there's more candidates running in that Senate race. Well, listen, if you guys want to show me a progressive candidate that has a chance, linked to a scam pack is crazy. Will you give me the information, Scary Spikes, will you give me the information for that person, please? I want to read more about it. I think that we're in a bad situation with Plattner, right? Now. Okay, thank you. We're in a bad situation with Plattner. As of right now, this is our guy. This is our best fucking bet. He also has a dumb fuck. Myria, they're bringing that up because funding for Ukraine and a lot of the people fighting for Ukraine are Nazis. Yeah, I don't know why they think you're a guy. Guys, stop misgendering, please. We don't need to do that in here. So, okay. As far as you're talking about, like, we can't begrudgingly support Plattner and also hold Israel to account. I disagree with this. I disagree with you on this because I think that there is a big difference between, like, getting a dumb fuck tattoo that you did not know the meaning of at the time, and being irresponsible about it, and, like, actively bombing people, and, like, being a state, like, you know, being a nation state, and bombing and starving and killing people, right? There is a pretty big difference. I think that we can say, hey, real world violence is wrong, and also getting hate symbols tattooed on you is also wrong, but these are not the same thing, right? Like, there's definitely degrees of harm and degrees of bad here. So you want a dumb fuck for a senator? No, not really. I don't. But again, this sort of feels like... I didn't know their pronouns. You know me for like 5. No. I don't think you did it on purpose. I'm just saying, going forward, let's not misgender them, please, okay? No, Myria, I don't like it. He's another Fetterman in the making. I don't know. We can only hope not, because right now, this is what we're getting. No one I know IRL obsesses over this tattoo, let alone knows who the fuck Plattner is. dumb fuck theory holds the most water with me. Unfortunately, dumb fuck theory also holds the most water with me too. If we can get here, let me promise you this. If we can get, this guy got radicalized by Michael fucking Brooks and changed his outlook on life entirely. I don't know why this is still a thing for real. Like, we know what happened. It's a Nazi tattoo. You're goddamn right. My Jewish ass is going to point it out. No, you should. And I understand why you're upset about this. Trust me. I understand why you feel passionately about this. I understand why you're upset about this. I do. I do. Unfortunately, it seems like a situation where it's a little more complicated. If someone else, you're right, we have until June. We got 7 months. If someone else emerges, another progressive, we'll support them. Okay? Easy. Yeah. Can you guys stop fighting with each other? We can demonstrate that's not the case based on the amount of background Plattner has in left-wing spaces versus Fetterman. Yeah, I do think that there are some obvious differences between Plattner and Fetterman, right? I think people can change. I think we have to believe that people can change. I don't like this. I don't love this. I think we keep an eye on it. But we also have to hope for the best. Also, we have to make do with what we're getting. If someone comes around, outflanks Plattner on the left and gains massive support, we're all in. We'll drop this guy. We'll drop Plattner instantly. No one is attached to this guy. That's exactly how I feel about it, right? If someone comes in and outflanks him from the left, or even is a little bit to his right, let's say a little bit to his right, but they still are progressive, and they have the fucking sauce, they got the juice, it looks like there's a chance, I'm in. Fine, I'm in. I don't know. This is tough. It's tough, right? We have no heroes. We have no good guys. We have no heroes. Now, can Plattner do a good job? I don't need him to be a fucking hero. What I need is for him to be able to do a job. Actually do the job. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. I'm less mad. I'm black and I just can't trust the guy. I hope I'm wrong. Idiots are why this country is so fucked up. I know. I know. Look, I mean, I don't know. None of us live in Maine. It's a lot of gray areas. It's a lot of gray areas. I don't like it. I just thought we had fucking standards around here, such as no Nazi shit. I just can't believe no Nazi shit is a purity test now, fucking in me. I don't think it's a purity test. I think that your concerns are very rational, right? I think it makes sense. But the reason why, does anyone live in Maine? The reason why people espousing or saying negative things is bad is because that means that they believe those things, right? That means that they support those things. So like, okay, let me put it to you this way. The reason why right-wing grifters are bad and harmful, even though we know they don't believe those things, is because they put support for those things out in the world, right? Because that galvanizes other people to believe those things. Plattner is not defending this. He is doing the opposite. Did he defend it? No, he did not. No, he said that it was dumb and that it was wrong and it was bad and he went and he got it covered. No, just send me the Jordan Woods stuff on Discord. I want to read about it first. So the reason why grifters are bad is because they put something out in the world and they try to get people to really believe it, right? So what really matters is impact, right? When we're looking at whether people are going to, how do I say this? He said it resembled. I know. Right now we have to look at his actions. You don't have to trust him. You don't have to trust him. But his actions are that he has done everything possible to distance himself from it. Got it covered. Came up with a dumbass excuse, lending credence to dumbass theory. Yeah. All we can do is wait and see. Maybe there's a way to get connected with and talk to people who are part of progressive communities on the ground in Maine and encourage other people to run. I don't know. All we can do is wait and see. I'm glad I don't live in Maine. Yeah, me too. I'm glad I don't actually have to cast a vote over this, because I don't love this. I don't love it. This is not like an easy, cool thing. I don't love it. Majority report Discord good for networking. Ooh. That's a really good point. Jordan Woods is the other person running. He was Katie Porter's chief of staff. Ooh, okay. So, I'm gonna look this up real quick, just to put it in my search history. Jordan Woods, he is connected to a scam pack, and he was Katie Porter's chief of staff. Let's just take a look at him for a second. Oh, not his wife. His husband? Okay, sorry, not his wife, his husband. Wood, 35, a former congressional staffer from Lewiston who spent about a decade working in politics in Washington, D.C., launched his campaign for the 2025 Senate race in April. He currently lives in Bristol with his husband, a specialist in online political fundraising. Okay. He previously worked in D.C. as vice president of In Citizens United. Okay, we like that. Pro-democracy, anti-corruption reformer. He's a co-founder of Democracy First. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of reading off stream about this guy, and I'm sorry, I thought you wrote that it was his wife, which is why I felt bad, because I said that. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of reading off stream about this guy and see what, apparently he's connected to some spammy dim stuff. Yeah, that's what Scary Spikes was saying. We will see. If he is connected to scams and fraud, I don't know. I don't like that either. Hi, Ada. It's also been insulting to see some of the defenses basically be, but you need a little racism to appeal to the white working class. No, yeah, I disavow that completely. Like, unironically, I disavow. No, that's ridiculous. You don't need that at all. All right, I'm going to read about this a little bit later. I'm going to go meet somebody we're gonna go hang out and drink some coffee for a little bit. So, at like 7. So I'm gonna get going. I'm less mad now. Now that we decided that he sounds like Dutch and we laughed about that and I got to yell a little bit. But before you guys start running away, let's see who we want to raid into. Ooh. Dead Domain is streaming. I really like them. We're gonna raid into Dead Domain, okay guys? They make good YouTube videos. Very nice, very smart trans creator. Okay. Get in the raid. Everybody ready? Yeah? I need a few more of you. All right. I love you guys. Bye-bye.